-3 or -2. Somewhere around that area.
So this is my opinion.
king and his men stole the queen from her bed, bound her and her bone. The seas be ours, and by the powers where we will roam.
What is good, Raider Nation? Welcome back to yet another episode of Raiders Live News Talk. I'm joined by my friends Dustin and Cortez. Say what's up, everybody.
What's good, Raider Nation? What's good, everybody?
Salute Raider Nation, salute to the chat, salute to the mods, salute to everybody on the panel. Appreciate everybody showing up week in and week out, man. Appreciate it.
Took Your Soul, Circus Raider, AJ, NorCal.
Everybody and their mom.
Yep.
Yes, as always, thank you to the members of this panel for showing up to yet another broadcast. Thank you to the mods in the chat for holding it down. We wouldn't be able to do the show without you guys, as always. And last but certainly not least, thank you to our viewers for watching along and commenting along with us as we begin this broadcast. We got another great one for you guys, as always. And salute to everyone just coming in just now. Just a quick reminder before we do get started. As always, we have a night. It's called the Nightbot, a YouTube chat bot that is going to be posting all the various links to our various platforms associated with Death Star Report. It's going to be posting that in the comments section momentarily. So if you guys wouldn't mind just keeping an eye out for that chat bot. Once again, it's called the Nightbot. If you guys could just keep an eye out for it, for it to post all of the various links, as I just said, in the comments section. Just to give you guys, a quick little rundown of all of the platforms, just so you can keep an extra eye out for each and every one. First and foremost, the Nightbot is going to give you guys a link to our YouTube channel, the Death Star Report on YouTube. If you guys haven't already, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel, hit the notification bell, like as many videos as possible, and comment on as many videos as possible. That'd be greatly appreciated. It's also going to give you guys a link to our friend Cortez's YouTube channel, the Raider Nightmare, the Nation Nightmare YouTube channel. Same deal there. If you guys haven't already, if you are on YouTube, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, hitting the notification bell, liking as many videos as possible, and commenting on as many videos as possible, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. It's also going to give you guys a link to our Twitch channel, the Death Star Report on Twitch. So if you guys haven't already, if you wouldn't mind giving us a subscribe on Twitch as well, that'd be greatly appreciated. It's also going to give you guys a link to our Instagram account, the Death Star Report on Instagram. So if you guys wouldn't mind just giving us a follow, if you haven't already, if you're on Instagram, as well as throwing some likes on some of our posts, and maybe even sharing some of our posts, not only to your story, but to your friends over DMs. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. And last but certainly not least, the Nightbot is going to give you guys a link to our Discord, the Death Star Report DSR Discord server. So if you guys haven't already, if you do have a Discord account, if you wouldn't mind following that link that the Nightbot posts.
Yeah, and we're about to start the fantasy leagues too right now. So we're going to be starting fantasy leagues up right now. I already started one up for the mods. It's in the mod chat, but we're going to start up all the fantasy leagues again anyways.
Okay, great. Yeah, so like I said, even more of a reason, especially right now, to go and join us at that Discord community. We'd love to have you guys. It's a tremendous community. It's a great way to meet and to bond with others over a wide variety of topics, not not just over all things Raiders, as we obviously do cover in that server, but
Salute,
over
Pyro.
a wide variety of topics.
Appreciate you, bro.
So obviously we do, in that Discord.
Fucking Perez, dude. He said he's waiting on your news. My bad, Jeff. Go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a nice topic today, Prez. We're gonna get to that tonight.
Yeah, so like I said, we do have a Raiders chat. We talk about all things Raiders. We have a channel for that, dedicated to that. But we also talk about the NFL at large. As Dustin just pointed out, we're just getting ready to start back up our fantasy leagues. We do have an NFL fantasy football league as well as an NBA fantasy league when that season rolls around. So we have fantasy involved in that Discord as well. We talk about other sports leagues in general, like the MLB, NHL, and NBA. We have promotional events like free giveaways.
Yeah, and in the fantasy league, just so everybody knows, that there's going to be a few of them that I'm going to do $25 gift cards. So whoever wins that league going to get the $25 gift card. So like I say, and it doesn't cost nothing to get in, free.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Right. So that's even more motivation.
And the leagues are crazy too. We do with extra players.
It's super flex. But we only do 10 or 12 people per league, and then super flex leagues.
Right, exactly. Right. So exactly. So that's even more of a reason to join the fantasy leagues as soon as possible, because there is a winning involved to the champion of one of those leagues, and obviously there's no buy-in, so there's absolutely no risk for you guys, and you can reap all of the rewards if you do it. So that's more of a reason to join the league as well. But outside of that, we also have channels dedicated to all kinds of Raiders content creators, not only over YouTube.
I'm fucking dead, dude.
Instagram as well.
Hey, salute, Buzzy. Appreciate you, bro.
Channels dedicated to all kinds of updates on various platforms like Twitter and Instagram. On various sports as well. So like I said, guys, if you want to mind keeping an eye out for the Nightbot, and for it to post all the various links to our various platforms that are associated with us here at DSR, and if you wouldn't mind following those links to tap in with us on all those platforms. Once again, that's the Death Star Report YouTube channel, Nation Nightmare YouTube channel, Death Star Report on Twitch, Death Star Report on Instagram, and last but not least, as I just said, the DSR Discord server. So like I said, if you guys could keep an eye out for the Nightbot to post all those links and to tap in with us on all those platforms, that would be greatly appreciated. And we do thank you guys in advance for that. And the Nightbot is going to be posting all those links multiple times throughout the duration of this broadcast, so you guys will have multiple opportunities to check out those links. So like I said, just keep an eye out for the Nightbot to post all those links. Like I said, we do thank you guys in advance for tapping in with us on all those platforms. So with all that out of the way, without further ado, let us begin our show with our first topic. So obviously we've had a whole bunch of pieces of news to hit Raider Nation since our last broadcast on Friday, all of which we're definitely going to get to throughout this broadcast. But probably the biggest and most recent and most breaking of news to hit Raider Nation today was that veteran cornerback Marcus Peters, after a long off season of maybe looking like he was going to sign with the Raiders, continuing to keep in contact with them, always looking like there was a strong chance that he was going to become a Raider this offseason, that has finally come to fruition just days before, the day before veterans report to the Raiders training camp. So why don't we go around the panel? I know we've talked about the whole Marcus Peters situation and what we see in him or what we don't see in him. But now that he is officially a member of the Silver and Black, why don't we just go around the panel and talk about our feelings on the signing?
I want you to highlight Raiders Allegiant lunatics. Look what lunatics said.
Hey Dustin,
lunatic last comment about Stan, Raider Stan.
So get your balls ready. Fucking, I'm dead, bro.
Dustin, looks like you shaved.
Hey, Cortez Cortez's puppet staring around at a donkey right now and a midget out by a pool.
So
uh,
funny.
Hey, Dustin,
yeah,
looks like you saved mine.
Both of
that I
us.
did. That I
Oh,
did.
damn.
Yep. Cortez did too.
Nice.
All right. So what do you guys think? Come on. What do you guys think about it?
Let's do it.
After I thought about it, like the money is right. We got him for a minimum. Technically, that's a vet minimum.
I'm
And
trying
for
to
him
get
to come
soda.
over, and plus that he's gonna be a day one starter in our defense, the number one, and then we're gonna have Nate Hobbs switch in and out. Faison may switch in and out. So I think it was a great signing for cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as you pointed out, Cortez, I mean, you talk about a 1 year, $5 million deal, not only in terms of overall amount, the price, obviously this is a relatively affordable, not bank breaking kind of a deal, although due to the deal, the Raiders are now technically over the cap. Situation we're going to get into in a little while as far as how to remedy that. But, not only in terms of the overall amount, but in terms of the lack of security, if you will, the fact that it's only a 1 year deal, sort of a prove it deal, a kind of an opportunity for the Raiders to really figure out, in this year alone, if they really want to stick with him long term or over a longer period of time, in which case they bring him back and they re-sign him or maybe extend him, something of that nature. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, it's low risk relatively and potentially high reward, especially if, as you pointed out, Cortez, he has a good chance of becoming, one of this team's, starting cornerbacks,
Yeah,
which
and
obviously
there's a topic in here too, going back to his about him too, that a player may get cut off this team, and a lot of people like the player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to mention that player now, or do you want to save it for?
Oh, we'll save it. We'll go into different topics.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, as I was saying, seemingly this is a low risk, high reward, kind of a play from the Raiders front office. If you ask me, just positionally, I think this is a good move because even since the beginning of offseason, the two big positions of need that this team needed to fill in order to take the next step were cornerback and quarterback. And so obviously very early in the offseason, they made the quarterback move in signing Jimmy Garoppolo. And now with the Marcus Peters signing just today, right before the start of the veteran portion of training camp,
Hey, there's
that
one more
obviously
thing that I want to throw in too. I think give shout outs to my boy Dustin right here. I think they could structure some type of money so they won't be in cap trouble with Jimmy G's contract. Isn't that right, Dustin?
Yep. Now that
Yeah,
he's up on the books, he can most definitely
restructure
they can most
it.
definitely restructure money, move it around, put it to a dead year. They can actually add it on to another year. So that the fact that his contract's up on there now, they can most definitely move money around. And like I say, for Peters, I mean, to be honest, at the end of the day, being signed to the team, in all realistic, regardless of what people think about him or not, he's going to easily be he's probably either the second or third best.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that. He's probably the second or third best defensive player on the team, period. So when you're sitting there looking at his experience, what he brings to the team, he's a little older. He's getting beat on plays downfield now. But if you sit here and look at the way that the defensive, the DTs, the DNs, the middle linebackers, the safeties, I mean, you're bringing a whole entire slew of people around each other. We were sitting here talking about it on Friday, where people were saying that he can be moved down to the safety position. Could be into the safety position where you're looking at Epps, Morrick, Smith, Peters, Johnson. And if they go with 5 corners, you'd be Hobbs, Shelley, Faison, Bennett, Webb. So somebody on that list would be cut. And like I said, I don't know who at the moment because they haven't even played a snap of football yet. So, I mean, that's going to be a tough deal regardless. So even if you're cutting out Shelley or Faison or Webb, adding Peters to that lineup, any way you look at it, still isn't bad. So like I said, I think for $5 million, I think it's still a little too early. If it was me, I would have just waited until we would have got into camp, seen if our corners were even good to begin with. But the other thing that's starting to scare me is that the Troy Hill dude, like they're obviously bringing people over here, and who knows if they're willing to try to bring more and more people because
Well,
maybe they don't
maybe.
like any of the corners that we have here right now. So that's the only kind of scary thing there is that who knows if they want to sign Troy Hill, who knows if they want to bring
Tomorrow,
more types.
maybe
The
that could
dude's
be a
31
good
years
night.
old, dude. Like you're going up for older players, hopefully. And again, he comes from a Patriot. He played for the Patriots a while back, so
2015, he was with the Patriots, so he knows.
hey,
Dave
salute,
and
Pete.
Josh. Yep. Salute, Pete.
Yeah, and all I say is I think it's like he's a good ad. I mean, if you're just being honest, even at the corner position, he's probably still one of the best on our team at the moment. I mean, outside of Hobbs, I mean, he's easily one of the best, just credentials alone, easily. So that's all I would say
Isn't he like
to
a
be added to the
full-time
team.
Pro Bowler? Peters? I think
Yeah,
he
the
was
only
full-time.
thing I would have an issue with is how far did he come off of the injury? I mean, if they seen him the first time around, didn't sign him, or he didn't sign, and then the second time around they sign on that day. I mean, was there a massive improvement? Did he play a lot better? I mean, what was the difference? You know, so was it just him waiting? I mean, there's a lot of things that'll probably not be answered, but at the same exact time, it would matter, you know, for me. So. Outside of that, I think it'd be all right signing. I mean, like I said, he's probably the second best corner on our team at the moment. So,
And I kind of like this next. I don't know when we're gonna bring it up, but the other addition that we got today.
Salute
Salute out.
Salute, Al. Where you at? Pull up.
Pull up, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I mean, you can't underscore enough that, you know, like I said, with the whole Marcus Peters thing, I mean, this is a guy who started alongside Marlon Humphrey just last year. So, you know, you're getting a starting quarterback who obviously, you know, adds a veteran presence to this locker room, which can never hurt. And, you know, there could still be
and
some
that's
upside.
it too. He brings that dog in him too. You know, he's going to be talking mad shit to people.
Oh,
I wrote on this deal too. I wrote on this deal on Friday. I said 4.5 million max, dude. Like that's what I was sitting there thinking. I hope they don't give him. I heard it was 5 million. So we'll see.
Yeah. It is 5.
Yeah,
Hey, Dustin, you know what's gonna be funny when we play the Donkeys? You remember that? It's up in our Discord. Somebody posted it. That thing about Sean Payton. He says we're coming or something. I forget how it
we'll
went.
come for your ass, man.
Oh yeah, we're
What'd he
coming
say?
for your. He told Sean Payton, "We're coming for your ass."
Who
Yeah,
said that?
Marcus Peters. I
yeah.
think
Did he?
that's when he was with the Rams. It's
Hey.
up in our Discord. I think it's.
Yeah,
in
I
the
ain't gonna
Discord.
lie.
We'll come
Fuck
for
it.
your ass, man.
Hey, don't count him
No,
out,
Peyton,
man.
we're
It's
coming
just
for
I
your
just hope he can bring it. I hope he can just bring what he says too.
Hey,
You
bro,
know what
we're
I mean?
gonna have to keep a safety.
And again, he's
over
gonna
the top.
face fucking he's gonna face
Sutton.
freaking Holmes, dude, and them at 30, 31 years old. So I mean, it's a different deal when you're down young and in your prime versus being 30, 31 and getting beat on the
Virgil
back.
just
Keep
said
talking your shit,
he
man.
told
We'll come
Sean
for
to
your
keep
ass.
talking shit. This
Keep
guy
talking
is
your
very
shit, man. We'll come for
interesting.
your ass. Give me money. More money, please.
I just hope that you don't go sticking. You know,
Hey,
they
bro, the
said that
craziest
shit to
thing-
the Chiefs down there, and we got our ass beat, bro. Like we straight got our ass
Hey,
beat,
guys.
like 41 to
Hey,
fucking.
Dustin, you remember we were talking about something when I was heading to Taco Bell today?
Yeah,
About somebody else maybe coming back?
yeah, fuck.
That shit would be hilarious. He came out of retirement.
Fucking Marshawn. I think fucking Marshawn's gonna be like, oh, Peter's over there. Let me go try out over there for the Raiders. That'd be too fucking nuts.
now.
Yeah, bro, that would be crazy.
Well, that's whose jersey I'm wearing, so maybe I've been manifesting it all this time. But
Hey, but the craziest thing now, Peters could play against the best receiver in the league now in practice to get his game up too. That's gonna be crazy to watch.
yeah, that's a very good point.
That's gonna be interesting.
That'll be interesting, D man. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, as the saying goes, right? Iron sharpens iron. So, I mean, if you have, like I said, a guy who's for years now been a starting corner, arguably at his peak, maybe a couple years ago, was part of the best cornerback tandem in the league, along with Marlon Humphrey. So, over in Baltimore. So, I mean, it's possible that a guy who is at the caliber of Devontae Adams could bring out a competitive
And
fire in Marcus Peters.
there's
Was
one
that?
more thing I want to say. I don't know if you guys heard what happened when Nate Hobbs was playing the softball tournament.
Oh,
You
they
know, with the
played
Golden
that?
Knights. He actually got popped in the face from a foul ball, hit him in the face, cut him open.
Oh shit!
Yeah, he should be all right to play though. Ooh. Just wanted to throw that
Everything
out
is
real quick.
fine. Hockey
Yeah,
players get beat all the time. Everything is fine.
Yeah. Like right below his eye, it was
Oh
split
boy,
open.
that's terrible.
But the crazy thing is that they just wear the LV hats, no helmets. They just it's crazy.
Kobe.
He
Yeah,
said, I
I
believe in Peters. He's a dog. Is he a puppy dog?
He's a
I
puppy
see the
dog.
little emoji. It looked like a little puppy dog.
Yep, little
Oh,
He's a
cute.
dog. A puppy
You look
dog.
like you need to be scratched between the ears. Nah, I'm just kidding. Frickin', I mean, like I said, dude, it's not a bad signing at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah, I think it's a good
it
sign.
doesn't matter if you're signing Troy or him. They're both old, so good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, right. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, these guys, not only Marcus Peters, but Troy Hill as well. And we can sort of go around the panel and talk about our thoughts on him too. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about veteran corners, not spring chickens by any means, but like I said, guys who could add veteran presence, to this locker room, who could coach up, the younger guys who might have more potential, at least at this point, being younger, but who need the sort of coaching up that you can get from guys who've been in their same position in their shoes for years. So yeah, obviously Marcus Peters was the highlight signing of today, but there is at least still some possibility that the Raiders could make a second move at the position and grab veteran corner Troy Hill. So why don't we just go around the room really quickly and talk about how we feel on that potential signing, or if we feel as though this team is good enough to move forward with the cornerback room that they have, or if Troy Hill can add some sort of boost to the room. What do you guys think?
I need to hear from people first. Dustin or Cortez. Wait, is Cortez even here right now?
Oh.
Hey, how's goes?
What did you say? What did you say?
I just wanted to go around the panel and ask everyone their thoughts on Troy Hill, the possibility of still signing him, because there's some possibility that they could grab him as well. So do we feel as though that would be a worthwhile move, assuming that the cap situation is sorted out, or do we feel it's good enough to move forward with this cornerback room? What do we think? Why don't you go first, Al's Ghost? Salute for coming in, by the way.
The only thing lunatic is 30. It's one thing if you're 30 and you're healthy, like that's a big deal. He's had already ACL tear, like that. 30 and having those type of deals in the NFL, that matters. That's a big deal. I mean, and his production has showed it even in the last year. All I'm hoping is that after what'll this be, a second year now, that it like he's getting past it. That's what I'd hope for. And I agree. I wish I can be 32. I mean, fuck, I'm 40. Feel like I'm fucking 60.
Shit, you guys are 30?
No, I'm actually in pretty good shape, but I still feel like I'm old. But still, at the same time, I get it, dude. I get it. But with the people, like even with the Troy Hill, it's like I was just sitting here trying to write down and look at it. I mean, if you're going to go here and say that we're going to go sign Troy Hill, he's probably going to be in the team. You're looking at a fucking another 31-year-old dude. And then you'd go Hobbs, Peter, Bennett, Hill, And then what? Shelley, Webb, Facem, like you're starting to all the people you brought in here to begin with ain't even making the damn team.
Hey,
You got to think. You
hey,
got
this is a-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That'd be 14 people cutting. I mean, get the best. I'm not gonna sit here and say don't get the best, but is Troy
Hey,
Hill the best?
hey,
I mean, he had
hey,
good production. I'm
Troy
not gonna
Hill
lie.
can-
I actually, Lunatic. I think I seen it on your show this morning
Hey,
with
bro.
your stats on it. That Troy Hill. He compared pretty well to actually Marcus Peters and play style of last year. So I think they're pretty damn even, dude. Outside of obviously Marcus Peters beats him in interceptions throughout his career by a long shot. I think it's 8 to like 30 fucking 8, but at the same time, like I say, I think that was a good stat line for it. And
Hey,
if you're bringing him here for height and that plays well, then I want to be against it. But let's be real. Didn't they try them both out today? Why didn't they sign both of them today? So that's all I would say.
there may be a signing before camp starts tomorrow.
I pressed the wrong button.
But
Oh,
hey,
no, man.
Justin, going back to our conversation
bad.
on the phone, if Troy Hill makes the team, both Shelley and David Long's both off the team. Didn't we both?
Well, I never put David Long on the team anyways. I've said
Yeah.
it. David Long is, I've said from day one, David Long is just a fucking backup cornerback, dude. So, I mean, if we're sitting here anticipating like he's going to go out here and start or just be another backup, which is fine. I have no issue. But the problem where that's going to become is you're, like I said, you're looking at Hobbs, Peter, Bennett, just those
Baseline.
three already, and you're probably going to have 5 corners to begin with. So,
And Troy Hall.
well, like I said, you got Shelley, Facem, and Webb that are going to be like your next 3 people here. Shelley, I mean, the way people talk about him, it would be like Shelley, and then you're going to battle out between Facem and Webb. I mean, some people think
That's
it might
fair.
be Robinson. I mean, that'd really be the only other guy.
We're gonna get to that
That'd
one.
probably
too.
be
We're
the only
gonna
other
talk
guy
about-
that seems logic, you know.
Hey, Jeff, you want to bring up the other signing that we got?
No, let's talk on this first, so then we can move over there. We ain't jumping subjects. But outside of that, I think, like I said, if we get him, I just think it would show, like, where is our depth between our, how did they fill out our corners to begin with, you know? And if Webb is playing as well as they think, he's young, bro, and he's obviously showed he can play in good games. So I don't know if I'd want to jeopardize him having a spot. And if he goes to the practice squad, is any of those guys, I mean, I guess Bennett would be one that can revert. Bennett would be able to revert back, but I don't know if anybody else is able to revert back. And then this was something else. I mean, depending on who they put on there, you're only allowed 6 people. Well, they have all these technicalities anyways, how you get back on the practice squad. But long story short, I just think I think you'd kind of be hindering some of our youth by fucking old dudes. Like, and I mean, if he can play at 31, I'm not going to say if this dude's 24, 25 years old, I would try to do as best we can with him first, you know.
That's fair.
Salute, Ozzy.
Salute, Ozzy.
Salute.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing that I'd also like to mention as far as, you know, the whole Troy Hill and Marcus Peters dynamic is that you know, honestly, because they offer different things to a defense, signing both of them isn't honestly the worst idea in the world, because they could balance each other out, sort of act as a complement to one another, because throughout both their careers, and they've obviously, you know, both been in the league for several years now, so it's pretty easy to compare them from that standpoint. But in terms of coverage numbers, you know, Peters has way better numbers in terms of interceptions and pass breakups. But even though Marcus Peters has started more games and has played in more games than Hill, Hill has 30 more tackles, 270 to Peters 241. So, you know, obviously Troy Hill, you know, you might not think of him as a, you know, sort of stereotypical or ideal number 1 lockdown corner when it comes to, you know, the passing game, but he is more of a versatile guy. He can play
He's not,
inside.
because
and
he's been here
outside.
for fucking 8 years. He most definitely isn't in that category. Like I said, he almost has identical stats to Peters. He just lacks in the fucking interception category. It's the only thing, and they're both damn near. I think they're the exact same age. The exact same age. Fucking. I mean, like I said, if you're bringing them in here and you're putting them there, I mean, like I said, you're gonna take away from Faceum, Shelley, somebody of that factor. And if you're willing to give up that spot, then give up.
Give up, boy.
You freeze? Did you freeze?
Yeah, I think he froze.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yeah. I was just to be clear, by the way, is so that that tackle difference between Hill and Peters is over the past 5 years, but it's not throughout their entire career. But even though Marcus Peters has played a lot more than Hill has, their tackle numbers are apparently very similar. So, even like I said, I mean, if we're talking about a corner who's, like I said, more versatile, you want more all around the field, can almost kind of act like a linebacker in terms of, racking up the tackle numbers, making plays, which obviously that matters as well. Especially with a linebacker room that, right, at least as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how confident you guys are in it, but given a linebacker room that to me is still kind of, trying to figure itself out, not exactly, they haven't played a lot together. So with a linebacker room like that doesn't exactly have the most sure footing in the NFL at present, I would think that a cornerback who could make a lot of plays like that and be, in multiple spots in the field, could definitely be a plus to this defense. So,
That's
I
right.
mean, like I said, if we're talking about, actually covering in the passing game, the more the usual use of a corner, Peters would be more, he would be better for that sort of assignment. But like I say, Troy Hill, he could make some plays. He can, maybe help in the run stop. Maybe in the short passing game, like I said, make a play down a guy. So, like I said, I think the two of them would sort of complement one another. So as long as they can figure out the cap situation, which obviously is probably going to involve, cutting several guys throughout training camp, making it work one way or another. I think purely from a football standpoint, like I said, the two could offer different things to the team that would overall improve the defense. So that's my take.
And what I was gonna say is, at the end of the day, play the best players. I mean, I don't really give a shit who they are. Just play the best people. So
Yeah.
the money's not going to matter. You can sign the players and go in the negative. I've said it a bunch of times. They're going to get the money back when they start cutting these fucking players from 90 down to fucking 53. The rule states that you just have to be at the deal by the start of the season.
29.
And the way that they're doing, by the way they're doing it, they get to cut their players on the last game of the preseason anyway. So, so they can hold them the whole entire time. So it's not going to matter. And then at the end, they'll just cut them down to whatever it gets to get them under the cap and go on. So, like I said, people got to always remember when they're talking about those categories, so we don't always keep talking about it, is you have almost 30 some odd players. What is it? 53 to 90? I mean, yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna do
30, what is it? 38 players. So, I mean, you're going to be fucking cutting a lot.
It's 37 players. Got to get cut.
Yeah, 37, yeah.
So
the money's going to be there regardless.
That could be a couple mil there. More than
it's going to be way more than a couple million. I mean, even at every player at $250,000, every four players is $1 million. So, I mean, every four players at fucking 40 players, dude. I mean, that's damn near. That's going to be fucking damn what? There's no way that's the number. That's right. Because every 10 would be 4 million. So it'd be 4, 8, 12, 16 million.
Hey,
But that's just
hey,
I'm not, and I'm not
hey,
saying that's the money you're getting. I'm not even saying that. I'm not implying it. I'm just
yeah.
using a fucking low number. That's all I'm doing.
What's so
And you got to
so
think there'll be veteran players. There'll be all kind of shit gonna get cut.
so
Yeah.
so this is not a topic. Do you think
We'll
Hoyer
give it
will?
to Al. Hold on, let Al finish talking about it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think I'm on the same page. Like, play the best players, whoever those guys are. I don't really care whose name is on the back of the jersey. The guys who understand the scheme, who are learning in the classroom and are able to implement that on the practice field, those are the guys that I want to play. I will say that maybe I'm a little higher on Marcus Peters than most of the panelists here. I think he has a lot of fight in him. I think the Raiders historically, like, keep this in mind, we have been an organization where we take cast-offs or guys who are maybe on their last contract and we've revitalized them. Obviously, that hasn't happened. I think Al tried to do that towards the latter part of his life and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe we strike gold again and that could happen. I also think, you know, when we first signed Jimmy, I know I was one of the guys who was saying, hey, I'm concerned about his injury, but we had other people saying, hey, we have, like, you know, the best training staff here, the best medical staff, or one of the best medical staffs. Maybe those guys.
That's what I said that's what I said when we signed him. I said that right when they delayed it and came into the next day. I said we got the top 5 medical staff in the league, dude. He'll be here. They said then, dude, it was gonna be the start of fucking camp or fucking preseason. They said it the whole time. I said that the whole time. Never even went off. That's why I think too many people don't even pay attention to the news. The 10th time that we brought up a subject that was talked about fucking months before, and people just act like, oh man, these guys, they must have got lucky. These guys got lucky that they picked the date and the time. They're fucking the best doctors in the world, but you know they got lucky, man. I mean,
Are we ready
So
to move on to the next topic?
So that's what I'm saying. Just a second. So that's what I'm saying, Dustin. I think, you know, given the fact that we have one of the top medical staffs, one of the top training staffs, that's going to help a guy like Marcus Peters. I also can't help but wonder that Ziegler and the coaching staff may have an ace up their sleeve in the sense of, hey, maybe we try this guy not as an outside corner, but maybe as a safety. I've been pushing for that on the lives over the past couple months. I could see that guy transitioning over to safety pretty seamlessly, given the fact that he plays pretty off and he's more of like a zone corner. He's got great instincts. He's a gambler. I think we should all go into the season with Peters with our eyes peeled wide open. He will get beat. He will lose. You know, he will lose some one-on-one matchups, but I think we could, you know, he could also return I think he could also, like, pick off some passes, and I think that's where we've been lacking as I look at our defense over the past couple of decades. Outside of that year, obviously we had Nnamdi, and then after Nnamdi we had some good years with Charles, but then Charles was obviously playing safety. And then we had that one year with David Emerson. We haven't had, you know, a top lockdown corner forever. And I'm not saying Peters is going to be a lockdown corner, but maybe he could be a guy who, like, steals a few balls and, you know, gets a few extra possessions for us. And ultimately, if you win the turnover battle in an NFL game, more often than not, you're winning the game. So that's what I'm excited about.
So, you know, over the weekend or Friday we talked about Peters playing safety, and I went home and thought about it and wrote it down. Peters wouldn't even be a starting safety. He wouldn't even start. Morick would be a starter until proven otherwise. He's younger, got better deals, so Peters would have to go in there and win. Then Epps was brought here to be a starter for one, played one out his best deal. Younger dude, he most definitely going to be starting. You have Smith, you have Johnson. You have numerous players here. Peter wouldn't even be a starting safety here. Peters could be a starting corner easily. Easy starting corner.
Yep.
But he wouldn't be a starting safety in my opinion. I think until Morick loses that job, Morick's going to get it. And Epps got brought here for that reason. And again, he's 27 years old, playing some of his best ball. Johnson was brought out of Buffalo, which Ziegler's spoke multiple times on the development, the place of where he comes from. I mean, yeah, exactly. I think Johnson's going to make the roster, and then
Isaiah
what's his
Palamau, you
name?
can't.
Nah, I don't even think Palomalu. It's going to be Smith. It's going to be Smith Jr. Fucking, he's going to be the other guy that's going to be there. He's got so much
And
skill
Timur ain't
set,
making
young
the team.
player, just drafted. Like I said,
Timur's-
Peter, when Charles came here, it was a different deal, and that's the thing that making transitions and so on. We didn't have the players there to begin with, so it was easy transition. The problem here is that they got the players there, so. I think, like I said, if you're making the logic deal, putting players over the back of them to protect them, which is going to be those type players, younger, quicker, move around. I think Peters would be best at the corner position because he's going to get beat. There's no doubt he's going to get beat on certain plays, but I think having those safeties over the top of them are going to be able to protect them, get over there, hit the ball. Like I think that's what it would make more because. I'm not saying Peters can't be a safety. I'm just saying he's going to have to get the starting job. He's not going to come in here at 31 years old and just surpass second-round draft talent, dude that's played good football, had one off year. Epps just come off Super Bowl winning team, 27 years old. He's going to play in the safety, middle linebacker line, dude. Like, you're not just surpassing those players. You're going to fuck up your whole defense, everything like that. And I've said this defense was established before he got here with the base type of players that they went out and got. With Spillane, fucking Epps, certain players were brought here to be in certain positions for damn sure. So for me, like I said, I think it'd make more sense in the corner. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree.
And I'm not gonna say he won't move back there on certain plays. Like I'm not gonna say like if they go to 5 DBs and they want to put him back there on a play. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just saying like if you're looking at it, logic would state he would have a better chance in the corner on our team right now.
Yeah, and to restate what you just said, I agree. Like Peters is gonna get beat, but where I land is, scared money don't make money. So he is gonna gamble. He's gonna get beat, but if he could get, multiple picks for us, dude, I'm all for it. Dude.
I think that's where Peters is gonna give us the chance at the corner, and I've said this a lot about a lot of people over the time.
That's what
Peters has vision in them slot passes. When they get in those slot and slant passes, the thing about Peters in his whole career, he's been phenomenal at this. He gets off on a dude about 3 to 5 yards, and he fucking gets it. Like, that guy, he'll think he's going to throw to that motherfucker, right? And he'll just jump the fucking gun and be like, thank you. Woodson did that same shit. Woodson used to do that shit. He was famous at it, dude. Like, he was famous for the pick six type play like that. And that's all I'm saying. Like, Peters gives you that play capability, dude, where he can play off and still get there. I just don't know if he can play off as far anymore or how he does now, because I'm not going to lie to anybody. I did not watch him play last year at all. So I'm not going to sit here and say, I think he's going to play good or play not. I don't know. I don't know. I can just look at what I've seen on the videos and things right now.
Malcolm Breezy thinks that he's going to pick off Russell Wilson week 1.
That'd be baller.
That would, and return it for a pick 6. So
I mean, I've said that. Oh, my bad. Go.
Are we going to move on to the next one?
I was just going to say, answer Pete's question is that I think when you get out of camp and you know what players you have, and then you get down to the actual roster and receive money back, you're going to have veteran players on free agency, and good teams will grab those players for depth pieces because they know they've played those games. So to answer the question, I would say if we're lacking in that position going into the preseason or beginning of the season, yeah, I can see him most definitely grabbing a player like that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would personally say that I don't like the idea of trying Marcus Peters out at safety. I mean, first of all, I think as an individual, he's an established vet at his position, so he's not a young guy trying to make a niche for himself in the NFL. It seems like he's pretty set in his ways, or he's used to what he's doing at this point. And like I said, as a veteran who's had as long of a career as he's had, he's also going to function as a coach, and I think coach on the field of sorts, or even on the sidelines. So I think he could best be used in terms of being a coach to the younger guys, in terms of a position that he's been playing at for years now. So not only for that reason do I not think it's a good idea to try to move him at safety, but from an individual standpoint, but in general, historically, playing guys out of position, especially in the secondary, hasn't turned out too well for us. If you guys remember, just a couple of short years ago, LaMarcus Joyner for us was playing out of position, and he was horrible, as I'm sure you guys remember.
He was trash. He was trash.
Right, and a big part of that was the fact that he was playing out of position. So,
came from the
to me,
Rams, played really good safety, comes here, put in corner, and was garbage.
Right, exactly. So, to me, I don't see especially Marcus Peters as a kind of guy where you want to rock the boat as far as trying to have a guy who's, like I said, so established as far as, reps and experience at his, position, which is corner, to try him out at safety. I personally feel as though safety is its own position, although it is part of the defensive secondary along with corners, obviously. But I don't see that being a very good move. I mean, maybe it could work out, and I'll be proven wrong. But as it stands right now, especially with a team that's for years now struggled just to get the basics right, really, with their secondary. Just have a decent, maybe even like playoff worthy kind of a defensive secondary. Ideally, I don't see a move like that being in the best interest of this team. But obviously that's what training camp's for, right? To see where guys fit. Trying to build chemistry.
I mean, the way a lot of the bettors are looking at our team right now is if the offense holds off and this defense can get up into the top 20, they're considering being playoff fucking teams. And that's funny as fuck to say when motherfuckers claim like, oh, we're not even going to win 4 games. Like Dark Ages, man, we're going back in the days. Like,
hey,
this
we're
is
going
the kind
back
of
in
crazy shit I think. This is the
Hey,
kind
so
of crazy shit
13
I
and
think. When
5.
you start making
I'm going 13.
little moves like these little moves, like Peters is the star, dude, you're going to figure out, okay, are we lacking in the linebacker spot somewhere? Does a player get released, man, that helps us gain massively? Like all these things can still come. Another corner can even be released, dude. You don't know. So all I'm saying is that so many people have already said like they're not even looking at the offense. They're not even saying, oh man, the offense, even with Jacobs not here, the motherfuckers ain't looking at the offense thinking like, damn, they got to get better. Like, it's just the defense where they put one key player here and there end up making our team way better at the end of the day. So for me, I think, like I said, the Peters signing, he's probably the 3rd best defensive player on our team at the time. He's probably easily, with the experience, the way he plays, I've said it, if you play a safety over the top of him, man, knowing that he may be beat on certain passes, that's where you're going to get interceptions, because sometimes picking up someone else's falter leaves the dude behind, which allows another guy to go forward, which allows the safety to go right on fucking past him. So, like I said, it could revert into a lot of interceptions that way. So, again, man, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out at the end of the day. Yeah.
You know what they're saying? Man, we're going back to Dark Ages, late 2000s. That's what
there was no hope then. And even like Al may have said a minute
again.
Go ahead, Justin.
No, I was gonna say, like you said a minute ago, bringing dudes here and revitalizing them. We've done that like to 3 players over like 23 years. 20 now. So that's all I say is like that. Those numbers are nowhere close to. You're playing every single year, adding 53 people to your roster, and you've revitalized 3 guys' career. I mean, I bet you we can go to other teams that can probably say the same fucking thing. So that's all I'm saying. That these guys come here and like Warren Sapp was one of the best players we had here. He played the same as he did there here, So I mean, fucking even Seymour fell off, and he still played pretty well. So again, there weren't very many players that came here and just took off.
Hey, are you guys ready for the next topic?
Well, that's the Super Bowl. I didn't say. I said after 2002.
That's fair.
The Dark Ages were different, dude. Like the only hope was just
that's the base of this. That's the base of any of this fan base here is time. These fan base people have no fucking idea what happened in the 80s, fucking any of that shit. They have no idea. They just talk because other
Are
people
you guys
bring up
ready
shit,
for
but they don't know the
Trumpet?
history of it.
Cortez
They know like the 2000s.
You know something,
Are you guys
Paul
ready
Rudd,
for
and
the
I
next
fucking
topic?
hate it.
Does anybody else have anything they want to say on this or no?
I would just like just to point out really quickly, just one last thing to mention. The one I guess troubling thing about not only Marcus Peters but Troy Hill, as far as the turnovers, especially interceptions, both of them only had one interception last year, and both of those returns for each of those receptions went for less than 10 yards. Marcus Peters also had 2 forced fumbles, so if we're talking about turnover heavy kind of corners, I don't know if these guys are going to be the source of generating a lot of turnovers on defense. Obviously, it would be great if they would. You look
But I
back
think
at
he only
Marcus
played in
Peters.
12 games. Peters only played in 12 games, if I recall.
Yeah,
If that's
and
that's
they
right.
only want players to get to the ball. They want players to make fumbles.
Yeah, Peters played in 12 games, and even if he got 2, that's probably just as many as our
That's
whole
pretty
fucking
good.
team got.
That's pretty.
That's
That's
better
pretty
than
good.
our.
I was
That's
gonna
just
say,
as good as
yeah.
our whole
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, I was gonna say 2 forced fumbles.
You know, and I'm not gonna say like I mean we may have five fucking interceptions. I don't know the exact number. I haven't even seen it, but the point is he gets one. That's one more than we fucking had. Period. It's not like our team over here gets interceptions. Like we haven't got interceptions for years. So I mean, fucking he gets 1 or 2. Fucking kudos. But the difference is Peters had seasons where he's had 5 or 6. So I think fucking 5 or 6. I want to say 8, but I don't think
when he was Rookie of the Year.
he was 8, right?
That was but that was in 2015.
Yeah, but that's all I'm saying is he has more he has 38 interceptions if I recall right.
He has a nose for the ball for sure.
Yeah, and him being here and put in the right system, it doesn't matter about the age or not, man. If they're playing in an area where fucking quarterbacks are lacking in slants and drags, dude, Peters is going to pick it up. That's what he's been known for. Go back and watch his shit. Watch how he hunts off dudes when he pulls off a dude and the guy's going to the sideline and the quarterback goes to throw to that fucker and he runs right on by and takes the ball. See you later. Like, those are things he set up for his whole career, and he's even done it even last year. So when they look at Brown or Hill and Peters only played 12 and 13 games last year, and they still produced some pretty good fucking numbers and tackles and all of those deals. An interception, again, they both had one. That's two. Their 2 is probably equal to ours. Like, what? Did Amik have one and one got thrown to Perryman? Is that who it was? Fucking the Perryman? I mean, I don't even think Perryman was here last year, was he? Yeah, he was. We didn't sign him this year. So he threw it to him. He got one. So that's all I'm saying is it's like we didn't have very many turnovers. So if we got 2 dudes here that got 1 and 1, the problem that I see with Hill is like he's only had 7 or 8 his whole career. Like there's a difference there. Like Peters is built for ball hawking. Hill is not built for ball hawking. He's just been in the right place, the right time over 8 years. He's gotten it fucking 1 out of 8, 1 per year, however you want to look at the stat. It could be 2, 1. I don't know what it is, but I know those are his numbers, 7 or 8 interceptions in his career. So there's a big difference. Peters is in the right spot way more times than not. And you got to remember, even last year on 12 games, he's still coming on an ACL tear. Fucking, he's still playing on a lot of things. He's got to get comfortable, get back into his game. I even said about today is like maybe when he showed up the first time, maybe it wasn't all about him being here or not, because he spoke on numerous times he wants to be here. I think maybe at the time, maybe he wasn't ready to be here. Like maybe his strength, his conditioning, things of those factors, like maybe they've seen, but this time they show up. It wasn't him showing up and them signing. It was like that fast. You know what I mean? Like it was already like, and again, why did they need him to show up and practice if they seen him already? Why didn't he just come in and sign the contract? I know it was because that when he was probably here the first time, they seen something in him. And they were probably like, hey, if you're going to fucking be here, you're going to need to be at this point. And when he came in this time, they were like, okay, he's at that point. Like, he's healthy. He's good to go. Like, people just think ACL tears is just like fucking twisting your ankle. I mean, it's not that fucking easy. So when people make those assumptions and just think a player's going to come out the next year and be the same player, it's not even true. Some can, some can't. Some will never be the same player ever again in their life, you know?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's facts. So, Dustin, I was also going to be said about playing for your childhood team, and I think that matters to a certain extent. For instance,
I
like
think when you're old and retiring and got $5 million, I mean, the thing that I say is he said this before, right? He said this in his prime. He said this in his prime, and guess where he signed with? The fucking Rams, because they offered him more money.
Yeah.
I don't care about him saying about, oh, my childhood shit. No, listen, this is facts. When you said that the first time, John Gruden offered you a contract. You turned that contract down and signed with the fucking Rams. So your childhood team didn't matter to you then. The reason it matters now is because, I keep saying this, 31 other fucking teams for $5 million for Peters, and not one motherfucker offered him $7 million or brought him to there. Like that's all I'm saying. Like it's not like you're getting this elite ass corner coming out of the motherfucking deal that everybody fucking wants. You're getting a dude that's old. He's fucking at his point where he could either be on the down or maybe 1 or 2 more years out of him. Like you're riding a very fine fucking line of not getting zero fucking production and fucking getting some. I keep saying Casey Hayward played really good ball in the beginning, but Casey fell off at the end of the year. He was getting beat over the top. He was giving up fucking plays. That's facts. And if you're not acknowledging that, that's when it matters the most, when you need to be digging down and working the hardest and being at your best game. Like, that's when you need to be at your best game, is at the end of the season, because you're getting ready to go play playoffs. It's not, oh, we're getting at the end of the season, let me die down because we're done. No, you still need to keep playing. So that's all I'm saying is like,
yeah,
you can't sit here and say that, oh, it's because you're high or this is where you want to be. You had the chance before. You turned this down. The reason you're here is I feel like you're on your last road. Nobody fucking wants to give you much. And even if another team offered $5 or $6 million, it's the end principle that this might be the last jersey Marcus Peters puts on as a player, and it may be a motherfucking Raider jersey. So
Dustin,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so Dustin, to that point, just imagine the fire that this guy has under his ass for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm playing for my childhood hometown team, the former Oakland Raiders. So that's fire number one. Fire number two is everyone's doubting me. Everyone's saying that I'm washed, that I'm over the hill, that I had a shitty season last year, that I'm old for a DB, etc. That's massive motivation for a guy like Peters, who has a lot of pride, who's a very emotional player, a very emotional person. You've seen this guy go at fans in the stands. You've seen him pick up flags and throw them in the stands and get,
he's a Raider, bro. He's straight Raider.
Exactly. He's a straight Raider, dude. Yeah. So I think this guy's coming in, super motivated with the fire under his ass to play for his childhood team with all these doubters all around, dude. And you guys know me. I'm not usually like,
hey, that's what we'll have to hope at the end of the day.
Guy, but
I mean, we'll have to hope at the end of the day.
Hey, can we go to the next topic now, Dustin?
I just think it's funny how we're all positive about old fucking guys that are in the last leg of their careers. That's what I think is always funny, is how we're always giving an old dude that getting dropped from the fucking the Ravens, one of the best defensive teams all in football, for a dude that had plagued injury. They signed him for 6. He's 25, 26 years old. We signed him for fucking 5 because he's 31 years old. Like, those things matter. Those things matter. John Harbaugh knows for $1 million, he can most definitely have kept a great player, if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the case, there's a big difference in there.
Yeah, dude, but we could say the same thing about Jimmy G. There's a reason why the Niners let him go. Like, we could say that about a lot of different
players. Jimmy G's been on that page for, like, multiple years, and I don't think who's going to argue that. Who's going to argue that factor? Yeah. I'm not here to argue that. I didn't say we were going, like, I know for damn sure I never implied Jimmy G going to be some fucking Super Bowl hero, fucking Hall of Famer. I know those words never even one time ever come out of my motherfucking mouth, so Jimmy G is just no different than this motherfucker. Last leg fucking hit. What happens if toe breaks? He's probably done in football. Like, Their injuries can be the end of everything. What happens if Peter's out here in week 7, week 8? Hell, let's even make it even more dramatic. Let's say Peter's having a great fucking season, comes out in week fucking 15, tears his ACL like OBJ does, and then bam, right out in no motherfucking corner again, you know? So the thing is I get it that people would say, well, that could happen to anybody. Yeah, the odds it is that it would happen to anybody. The odds are it can happen to him way more susceptible than any other motherfucker on the team. So big fucking difference in there when you're relaying to your future of your team into those type of players. Like, I'm not trying to roll down that path. Like, to me, if you're using them as a backup and you're solidifying your youth players and rotate, great. If we're bringing him here and trying to straight up say, like, hey, you're going to be our starter and we're depending on you the rest of the year and somebody gets hurt, that's all we've been doing the last few years, no matter who the coach has been.
Are we ready for our new topic?
Yeah, why don't we
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know, obviously we're gonna have to see you know, what the season brings as far as, you know, how the Raiders will use Marcus Peters. Obviously we'll continue to keep an eye on the Troy Hill situation if anything comes to fruition as far as that goes. But
yeah, and people think Bennett is some slouch, dude. They passed up on Ringo and multiple other fucking dudes in there, dude. Like, Bennett ain't gonna be no slouch ass cornerback, dude. Like, there were good corners on the board that all these dudes were sitting here comparing to, and they chose that motherfucker. So I'm pretty sure they know where they're looking at. But go, Jeff. My bad.
Yeah, Jeff. Let's go to.
No, talking. Yeah. So, Cortez, which topic did you want to go into?
Let's go into the Rocha.
Okay. All right.
Which one?
Yes. So the Raiders, along with Marcus Peters, also made another signing. Defensive lineman, I believe, Isaac Rochelle.
And the crazy thing about this, he's 6'4", I think 280, if I'm not mistaken. He's a big boy. And if you guys haven't noticed, during this whole off season, all the DNs that they've been bringing in are big, like they're tall. And this guy came when Chandler Jones, it was after the Steelers games. Chandler Jones got injured and was on IR for the year. He came in and played, I think, a couple of games, if I'm not mistaken. And this guy is a good player, and I'm happy that we brought him.
He's only played one game for us, and he's only played a handful of games through the NFL.
Cleveland.
And if I recall, he only has like 103 or 130 tackles, but he does have 9.5 sacks. He does have 9.5 sacks out there. So,
and then plus,
like I said, in the factor, I think he would just be looked at as if he can get behind the pocket. You know, that's what I would be thinking, because his numbers just show backup player. So like somebody like, he can probably take out Kuntz or somebody. I don't know how old he is. I didn't look at his age. It was the only thing. I didn't see his age. But I recall, didn't he wear 95 for us or something when he played, right? He wore 95.
Because didn't we cut Vickers last year, and then he got 95, if I'm not mistaken, towards the end of the year, because we didn't bring Vickers back. But it was we don't know the money about that one either, so it must not be that much that he's getting. But I feel there may be another signing tomorrow before camp even starts.
I mean, veterans report tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So technically, camp doesn't start till Wednesday. That's when that's when they practice. Tomorrow, they're just all reporting.
Yeah, I mean, Rochelle is not a bad pickup, but again, he's going to have to get through here, which he has a good chance at getting through here. But then this is my point again. This is where it comes back to another point. Like, you're looking at DNs. You're all like, if he was to take Willis's spot, then I can see it. Fucking, or you know,
how many DNs do we have?
You're looking at Kuntz. Kuntz is gonna get 86 years one way or another sooner or later if they keep doing that.
Am I one of the ones that's been talking about Kuntz maybe getting cut?
Yeah, but the only way he's gonna get cut is if they keep bringing players. Like, the players on the team right now, I don't think is going to knock him off the team. The problem is if they bring in a dude like this and then his 9.5 sacks start adding up, depending on how long he's been here, how old he is, like, that shit's going to matter, because then it's going to come. How old is the guy?
Who? Oh, Rochelle.
Yeah, how old is he?
Let me look him up real quick.
probably like early 30s, late 20s. He's 28.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah, so see, that's my point. Like, he can most definitely jeopardize Kuntz because Kuntz is only 25, I think, 26. So now you're looking at like 2-year difference. The difference is now fucking
And the crazy thing too,
Rochelle
Dustin,
got fucking 9.5 sacks in his career.
and one
so
pick, he has an interception too under his belt in his career.
yeah, I seen that, but I think it just got thrown to him. Fucking
That shit's crazy though. Still, it's still a pick. If you want to go to, I don't know if we still want to talk on this one or go to a different one. You know, I got like 4 different topics today.
Right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, obviously not the most pressing headline, but yeah, I mean, obviously,
but it was just
for the team.
I think the Rochelle is not a bad piece, but the thing I would add to the conversation is that you're going to see a lot of pieces like this start happening, because if they're looking at pieces like that, I keep saying the logic piece would be is a Willis. Willis is 30 years old, dude. 31 years old. He's older at the end.
Hey,
Even if he doesn't make it as a backup, you see what I'm saying? Like, you're eliminating older players. Plant, fucking Kuntz. They're all still young.
Yeah.
And I even said when we did the line the other day, we were under our number. So we could have added 2-3 more people. And again, adding Peters to the deal can still give you 6 corners. Adding Rochelle to the D ends can give you fucking 5. Like, that's all I'm saying is you can either have 5 or 6 in there, because you still have Kuntz and players that play linebacker switch in linebacker.
Yeah. Hey, Dustin, going back weeks and weeks, months ago, we talked about the D line. Like, didn't you say that they want to go younger? They don't want older players that defensive tackle or edge. They want to go younger.
I think keeping the youth with the dude being 9.5 sacks in the NFL, his numbers are eventually going to trump out Kuntz as a backup. That's all I'm saying. Like, eventually Kuntz's days are numbered at that point, because the production over that dude's years is probably a better backup. And then again, you're only talking about a few years, so even special teams, things like that, he's still going to be able to do it.
You think?
I mean, Wembley played special teams all the way to the end. So,
hey, do you think if it was up between him and Kuntz, and because of his nine sacks, do you think that we could get a trade partner for Kuntz and get like a later pick for Kuntz?
I mean, you're only going to get a 6th or 7th round at best. Probably not
and
anything.
Then flip that, like next year, you could flip that and move up.
I think at the end of the day, Ziegler's going to try to get any trade value out of every single player that he can at the end of the day, regardless of what their name is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, as Dustin said, I mean, you know, looking at his numbers, you know, he really does seem like he could be best used as some sort of rotational kind of a piece. I mean, you know, had 12 combined tackles for the Browns last year. So, you know, I mean, there's something there to be said for, you know, a guy who could, you know.
He played on numerous teams, didn't he? Didn't he play on numerous teams? He played on, I think he played like on the Browns, the Colts, and I think maybe Dallas.
No, Chargers.
Or Chargers. Well, Chargers was in the beginning of his career, but I think he played on a few. I can be mistaken. I can be mistaken. I thought he was on the Colts. I thought he was in the Colts too, but
yeah.
Long story short, this is the way I look at it. Like, what's Kuntz's height and build? Like, what's his height? Is he 6 foot, 6'2"? Like, what's Malcolm Kuntz's height?
Give me 1 second.
Rochelle is 6'3", 280, by the way.
All right, 6'3", 280. So then look at Kuntz. Kuntz is only 259, 258. So, like, this dude already can push the line massively. I mean, this dude a DN at a D tackle spot. You know what I mean? D tackle at a DN.
Yeah, Kuntz is 6'2", 249.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, this dude's already, he got 40 fucking pounds on him, bro. In a spot that matters like that, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not going to say it's 280 is, like, he's a big boy. Like, I'm gonna fucking get down on the D tackles, bro, like, easily, so.
Hello.
And that might be another reason they bring him to be able to switch in and out. You know what I mean? Like, he can switch in and out, D and D tackle. I mean, he ain't no little motherfucker, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, going back to last year, he started a game for the Browns, played in 6. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you look at his numbers overall, it obviously doesn't scream impact player, but it could indicate that he could be used as a rotational piece to sort of give some rest to in relief of guys like Max Crosby or Chandler Jones, maybe even Tyree Wilson, depending on how much he plays. So yeah, a guy who could potentially work in some kind of rotation. At the same time, this could also be another camp body who ends up getting cut as well. So I guess his future with this team is sort of murky, but
yeah, everybody's production is gonna. At the end of the day, everybody's gonna have to come here and practice. You know what I mean? Like, because Willis is old fucking dude too. Like, that guy, 31 years old, fucking about done with his career. Like, that's the things. And then, but you're right. I mean, every guy here has to come compete. But that's why I think, like, Kuntz, man, at the end of the day, he's younger. He has his fucking years ahead of him, and he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years, so he has experience. I mean, you look at Arden Key, right? People have said, oh, Arden Key here was fucking not a good player. All that guy been doing is go around fucking up people now. Like, that's all I'm saying. He ain't doing it to know, like, oh, this fucking elite level, but goddamn, he's registering 5 and 7 sacks per season. He didn't do that here. He didn't do that here at all. So that's all I'm saying is just something. People might have better production outside this motherfucker if you let him go. You let Kuntz go and watch him cut. Dude, everybody knows on just a little bit of production Kuntz has had, he's been getting to the hole, like straight getting to the back. So I think when they've never gave him a full chance at it, man, it's just, I would hate to see a guy that had that kind of caliber and just let him go, dude. Like, and I don't know what the issue is. I'm not a coach to determine that, but I mean, the guy has shown that when he's been in the game, preseason, regular season or not, he can get back there. So I just don't understand the issue. It could be personal. It can be whatever it is. But if it was personal, why do you keep bringing him back? You can not just sign him. Like, you can most definitely just release him. I mean, a player like him, you're not going to take much cap hit. Fucking, you'll take a sliver of a cap hit, most, if any at all. You know what I mean? So that's the only thing I don't understand is why you do it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Kuntz goes, is one of the, the last remaining Gus Bradley guys left on this roster. Not only given the trend that
technically, Tildry is a
well, right. He was
Tillery's a Gus Bradley. Paysom's a Gus Bradley.
Yep.
We got a few dudes back here.
Well, Faison was a guy that Gus Bradley actually brought in. The McDaniels and Ziegler did not bring him back.
But they loved him. But they couldn't get the
Ziegler tried to bring him back, but he left and went with Gus.
Well, yeah.
Ziegler spoke. He didn't want to let Faison go. Ziegler said that he talked to him, met with him, that he tried to actually keep him here. He just Faison didn't want to stay here.
Do we want to go to another topic?
Well, what are you saying, Jeff?
Well, I just want to say, like, obviously with Kuntz, as one of the few remaining Gus Bradley guys on this roster, given that McDaniels and Ziegler have, shown up to this point an emphasis on, getting their own guys, on the roster, so making, clearing out the old. For that reason, also, you go back to that moment in the offseason last year where McDaniels yelled at Kuntz for, I guess, being too aggressive in a, sort of situation.
Yeah, going after Carr.
Let me go get that photo for you guys for this crybaby.
For that reason, Kuntz may be in the doghouse, so that might open up an opportunity for the likes of guys like.
Should have smacked the quarterback. he
Dude,
should have
obviously.
smacked Carr around.
Should've.
Maybe Carr would have been more tougher last year than he was like Crane.
If Josh is a bitch like that, that just shows pussiness. But I don't think that's the case. I get it. Like, he did yell at him. I mean, we all heard it. But, I mean, if you got a player that can get back behind there like that, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think you're going to bench him. You know what I mean? Like, I think fucking you want the best players out there regardless of who they are, and especially when it's jeopardizing your career and your job. You know, like, you can be Andy Reid and Belichick when you have success. You know what I mean? Like, you can hold personal vendettas against people and have these type of deals when you have success as a head coach in the NFL, but you can't play those type of games when you're trying to win. Like, you can't do that because it's going to find his ass out of the NFL real quick doing that.
Was
So,
that like the second, or was that the second or the first day that it happened?
I don't know.
I forget
At
when
the
it
end of the day, no matter how Josh McDaniels looked at Kuntz played the same role he played in Gruden's system. He played the exact same role, special team player, fucking got a few snaps throughout the season. So even if Josh McDaniels was pissed off at Kuntz, the role never changed. It was the same role he played with fucking John Gruden. So sometimes some players are just special team players and depth pieces. That's it. And that's all I'm saying is when you're bringing a dude like Rochelle in here, that's 28. He's got production in the league. He's got the sacks to back up his deal. At the end of the day, sacks matter. And I think when you're trying to win a game and close out, if a guy gets behind there and puts a dude down, puts him outside the first down, puts him outside the field goal, that matters. And the problem is no matter what, Kuntz still to this day has not put up that production. This dude's obviously put it up 9.5 times. And if he's 28, how long's he been here? 7 years? I mean, that's saying he came in at 21. So even if he came in at 22, that's 6 years. 6 years at 9.5 sacks at rotation, that's a pretty good player. So, I mean,
I feel
They're
like
pretty
he's going to
good.
take Jordan Willis' spot, to be honest.
that's what I think.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I just said. That's
like
exactly
And then,
you guys are saying,
and then I just have a
think
feeling
they're
that
gonna convert.
Plant's gonna take. If they go, I think Plant's gonna make the 53.
I think Plant might, but also I think Kuntz might. But I reckon they might be switching him more. Like he's going to play some men still, but more of an outside linebacker. The way they're putting his weight on.
I mean, if you got to think about it, Wilson and Plant, if they both make the team, they're both practice squad eligible. And Kuntz being on the team as many
Is
years
he
as he has with the
practice
6
squad?
players, they have multiple. They have multiple ways that they look at him being capable. And at the end of the day,
And
they allow
protect
6
him. Put him on
people.
the
They allow
protection.
6 people on the practice squad. Regardless of how many years, how good, how old, like they allow 6 dudes
And
there.
can they
So
protect a veteran? Is there a veteran?
2, I
that
think,
can
wasn't it?
protect?
Was it 2 veterans or something?
Is it 2 and
Yeah.
then four rookies, or no, total of 4 people?
no,
that protect it?
4 rookies can be there just because they fall under the category. They can fall under a few categories of 9 games not played,
How many
2 years
protections
minimum
can
in
you
the
get?
NFL. Like they fall under all
Yeah.
different categories.
Because didn't you and Sergio say it
is
was
it
something
only
like
4
two vets
protections?
and like 2 vets or something and like 6 guys that's like 2 years or less or something?
Yeah.
The 2 years
that's
or
what
less, I think, is 4. I think it was 4. I think 6. The 6 spots
6
were
rookies.
the 6
For
spots
veterans.
were for.
Vets.
No, the 6 spots were for any player like didn't matter their years. So basically
Was
anybody
that the
after
one
2
with less
years.
games or something?
It's anybody after 2 years.
After
So
2 years, yeah.
basically anybody after 2 years you can protect 6 players.
What's your
So
opinion
it doesn't matter if they're 25 or fucking 35.
on us getting?
Wasn't it
Is
something to do
there-
with games or something? Games played or something, you said?
Yeah,
That was the
Saints-
first one. That was 9 games played.
9
So
games
if a
played.
player had a total of 9 games played, under 9 games played, then they qualified on that list. So if you were under 9 games played, you qualify to be on the
Yeah,
list.
so you could
If you're
protect
under 2
the
years, you qualify on the list, and then 6 players of any
just rookies like UDFAs.
experience.
So.
Any experiences on that list.
Yeah, so the UDFAs and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good then, because that means you can put at least like 6 players that's older than 22 or whatever.
Yeah, because when we were doing our list, we were looking at it as
Because most
The 9,
UDFAs
but
is like
then when
20,
we
probably
read
like
it-
22. Like the UDFAs are probably like the oldest players coming out the draft, like UDFAs are probably what, 22?
as a UDFA.
Yeah, like this year's draft, the oldest guys coming into the draft would probably be what, around 22, 23 coming out of college?
Like that came out this past year?
Yeah, this past year. So you're
Hell no, fuck no. I mean, what do you
What's
think?
the oldest-
Bennett was fucking 25. Fucking.
Oh, 25.
There,
So
there
25.
were multiple players out there that were 25, 26 years old. So
Some come out 26.
I would say like 25. I would say 25 because Bennett and them would be 25 and 26 years old when they were come out to start the season. You know what I mean?
No,
So
I
I
was trying to
would
work
say-
out what the oldest player was, so then you could kind of work out how you do it.
Yeah, because I think I mean, if for us, it would just you would want to protect anybody that came out of this year's draft. Like for instance, Jade. I mean, he's a 7th round
Yeah,
pick.
Jade.
You would want to protect him because he has a huge
I think he
upside.
could sneak his. Yeah, I could think he could sneak.
Well,
his way
I know he
into
can
that
sneak
position.
on. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking to protect a player, that would
Oh,
be
yeah,
most definitely a player to be protecting.
Yeah,
Same as Adam Plant. Same
Yeah.
as Adam Plant, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, I mean, Bernie. If Bernie goes to the list, you would want to protect him.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that makes sense.
you have multiple dudes here. I mean, Webb, I'd probably want to protect Webb if he went to the practice squad. I mean,
Did you guys figure out what the
because of
maximum
college
protection
Hall,
plan is?
Hall.
What's the maximum you can protect on those?
I don't
I know.
fuck
I know.
maybe
That's
1 or
what
2
I think. 4.
One
I
or
think
2.
there's only 4 that you could protect, if I'm not mistaken.
because of
4
the
or
college
5.
COVID rules. Yeah, facts.
Yeah, Drake Thomas
Yeah.
is one.
Yeah, Drake Thomas.
Yeah.
too. Drake Thomas may be able to make the actual 53.
Yeah, especially if we keep 6 linebackers instead of 5.
Well, I've said that he would be the 5th linebacker
Yeah,
on the
5th, 6th
team.
linebacker.
So the 4th would be Bernie.
Yep. 3rd would be Masterson, Diablo, and Spillane.
Spillane.
Yeah, that'd be a solid enough roster.
And then
linebacker coach.
and then Darian Butler would be the 6 if we roll with 6.
Yeah, but see, this is why I've always said, like, you got DN players, dude, and then this only proves my point again about fucking Rochelle. See, like, when you're looking at the way you can transition your players through the 4-3-3-4, you want a player that plays DN but linebacker. Then you're looking now at a dude that he has the build to play DN or NDT. Like, there's no fucking doubt about it, dude. Like, if he's weighing 280 fucking pounds, he can play DT. Like, there's no doubt. So he can be moved inside or outside. Then, like I said, then that takes Willis where he can be moved outside or up to the linebacker. Like, a lot of these players have so much transitional youth in
That's
them.
true, lunatic. I think they make the 53 though.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's insane.
Oh, yeah, we're
It's
gonna have to
insane.
protect both of the O linemen too. On the practice, if they don't make the 53-man roster, we got to protect.
I think
Curtis
they
and
make it.
Wagner.
I don't think they can afford to put him on the roster on the thing.
Wagner's the only one that may not.
Yeah,
It's the only one I
that's
can
only
see
Parker
not.
shows up. Or
Wagner
something
would
like that.
only be the only one where I see, like, why would you bring him on the line unless that's something? Because, like, let's just say that Illuminor and Munford make it,
Would have
right?
to go. Yeah.
And then let's just say Curtis makes it. That's gonna Munford and Curtis are gonna be your backup players. So if you bring Wagner here, that means you're designating the 8th spot now. We've only ran with 7 on the line, and they've ran with that for a while. And even Ziegler and Carmen Pasillas even spoke on it that they run 7 because the 2 players that are on the bench are rotational players that can play at any given spot from the guard or tackle position for more times than not. And I've even spoke.
So then Muti
if it was
would
Parham-
be the starter.
Yeah, Moody
Say
would be the
again?
right guard.
Muti would be the right
I
guard.
think Moody would be the right guard for sure over Bars by far.
Yeah. Bar's getting cut. Bar's trash.
I mean, Meredith would be the only other guy I would be questioning. Like, if Meredith shows up, dude, and he can play on the right guard side, I mean, he's a dangerous candidate that you got to watch out. It's not just no giving up deal with him. So he's still a younger type player. He got graded out pretty well. I mean, if I remember right, he was graded out at an 84, 86. Bars was graded out at a 44. You know what I mean? Like,
Bars
that's a
trash.
massive offset there, massively.
I'm pretty sure that Bars gave up the most pressures on our line last year.
Hey, but the other thing is, who got paid the most? Was it Wagner? Didn't they offer Wagner the most?
See, I think like Lunatic you're saying right now, I 100% believe Curtis is going to make that team. That dude will maul your motherfucking ass, bro. Like, that dude will eat you for breakfast, man. Like, that shit matters. That shit matters, especially in the run game. Like, he takes on grown-ass men. Like, grown-ass men, dude. Like, they already said he got NFL strength, dude. So I 100% agree with that comment by a mile, because
I think
Curtis has an easier way to get on the team, I want to say at the end of the conversation. Curtis has an easier way to get on the team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Curtis can be a Richie Incognito type of a player at guard, just a brawler in the guard spot.
Yeah, because if you look at Wagner, if Wagner makes the team, it's almost like you're trading a Luminor, like literally, because you would want to roll with Munford at the end of the day. He's a younger player. He had first round capability written all over him. We got him in the 7th round a year after, man. So all I'm saying, like, Munford is eventually should be slated for that line eventually. Just because Luminor writes an article that says, "Oh, I feel like we're going to be the best," you can write that all you want. Doesn't mean it's going to be the best. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be the best players out there, period. And if Munford shows up and playing just as well as you, if not better, and then Wagner, like in here, like giving them that money, that's the thing is like, so like that comment with the Wagner and Curtis both over 200K, there's a big deal with that comment because of the fact that these are two dudes that were UDF players. So like they could have just went to the deal, been signed on any. They paid them to bring them. Like they were like, hey, these dudes gonna offer you 60, 80,000. We're gonna give you 2,000 up front for you. Like just show up over here. So that's all I'm saying. Like that right there just says like, hey, we want to invest into you. That matters. Like if you go give 200K to Van Rotten, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's a pointless that's pointless.
And if Wagner goes on practice squad, he's definitely going down as protected for sure. So
I think Wagner has a good chance, but I don't think he's going to beat Munford just because Munford's more into the system in year one. But again, to sit and say Wagner couldn't do what Munford did behind Illuminor last year, I mean, why couldn't he? I mean, they would have said the same shit about Munford doing it behind Illuminor, and Luminor and them were all over the fucking place. The difference is Munford has a year in. He's already spoke on his mental health, how he's up to, like, look at how he looks, how he, like, the dude's in some fucking shape. You know what I mean? So
I also feel Luminor's on his way out. Like, this is his last year as a Raider, possibly, if he does start this year.
Yeah, and Lunatic, you're right. I mean, when you are outbidding somebody, shows you really want somebody, and especially at those spots. I mean, I've went over this offensive line a bunch of times. I mean, you can just count out numerous players here, and it still is not going to matter. Like, if you're looking at Miller, Parham, James, and just look at those three. Those are, to me, those just like, I know they're going to be starting. Like, those are three players I know are starting. But then when I look behind them, I look at Haron, I look at Murray, I'm like, can't see any of them. Van Rotten only here if Curtis fails. Like, that's the only reason Van Rotten's here. And Meredith can knock out Van Rotten. Meredith he's younger, he's got the play deal, he's going to be in his second year here. So he can most definitely be able to beat out Van Rotten. So like I said, at this point, Meredith and Curtis are the only guys that become threats. So you look, Van Rotten gone, Haron gone, Murray gone. Grayson or Russo, however you say him, he'd probably go to practice squad just because he's a center. So if James got hurt, but then he got Parham that drops, then he got Curtis that can move into Parham's job. You see, like, you got so much rotational, so you can almost you can easily call out your players. Barr graded out low. He was a mauler. That's what Curtis is, dude. Moody's already shown his game stepped up, take over Barr. So you can probably count Barr out. And Gurman, I mean, I don't even know who he is. So I mean, fucking
Hey,
let this guy
hey,
just shows
Parker's
up.
not making the team. Can we say that?
But that's where I think like Parker and the Luminor can be easy trade players if you're trying to protect Wagner, because Munford would be the starter, Wagner would be the backup. But this is where I keep saying, like, the reality of the conversation is Luminor is probably going to start, and Munford is probably going to be the backup, and Wagner is probably going to go to the practice squad and get protected, and Parker's probably going to be released or traded. And the odds are he's probably they're going to try to trade him. They're going to try to trade him.
Is Garbers
I think-
going to go to the practice
Who?
squad?
Who?
Chase? Garbers?
Chase. Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Because Loon say, do you think is a cut casualty because he's protected on the practice? Was he protected last year on the practice squad?
Yeah, he was last year.
But do you
Well, I
think
think-
that they,
We didn't have Aiden O'Connell then, though.
yeah,
So-
Aiden.
Yeah, but this is the thing though. So Aiden ain't done nothing yet either. So like it doesn't matter about a player's name or not. The Chase has 1 year in Josh McDaniel's system, and there's nothing saying that they want to protect him again. I mean, there's nothing that would say they want to, unless there's a rule. So I don't want to overspeak, but unless there's a rule that says like the Raiders can't protect Chase Garber's 2 years in a row, I
think
want
they can
to. Why
either
would
way.
it?
I think it's
Yeah, because you're looking at your future here, man. Like literally, and let's just do this. Let's just do this scenario, okay? Let's say that they fear that Chase has made that big of an improvement in year 2 that if they don't protect him, another team's going to take him. Why wouldn't they just cut Hoyer? Like, why wouldn't you just cut Hoyer and put Chase in Hoyer's job? I mean, obviously that's implying that Aiden is already the backup, and the only way Chase would come in, because he'd be considered the 54th player on the roster with the three quarterback rule.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
at any case, he's not going to be activated on the roster. So for me,
Yeah,
I
you
would
do that.
probably roll that case before I designated a spot to the practice squad in protection, because I think there's other people that you'd want to protect. Like, let's just say Thomas doesn't make it onto the linebacker. You'd want to protect him. If Plant don't make it onto the end, you'd want to protect him. You know what I mean? Like, if Smith doesn't go on, you'd want to protect him. I mean, there's a lot of dudes here you would still want to be able to protect and not
I think
just
you
give
can
them
protect
away.
veterans too with that rule. So
Say again.
I think you can also, you know how you can have like 2 veterans, whatever, you can protect them too.
Yeah, but I just named all young players.
Yeah. Just saying, you can
You
also
know what I
keep in
mean?
mind, I think you
Like-
can protect a veteran too. Like the age doesn't matter. You can just
He
protect.
says
any players.
he says the rule is you can protect 4 players every week on the practice squad. Who would be our 4 players?
Oh, so this.
Well, look, I just said them right now. If Chase was there, if that was the case, Chase would be there.
Girl.
Man, that's a tough one, you know, Lunatic. That's actually a really good one too, because I would just say this: if Plant didn't make it because Kuntz was on the team to where they can rotate him, I would most definitely say Plant's getting protected. If Thomas was there too, just because maybe they signed another player and before we get to the regular season, then I can see him as the 2. I mean, Webb, most definitely, if he's still practice squad eligible. I mean, you wouldn't want someone just to take Webb. And Smith, that's just 4 defense, bro. That's not even saying 4.
Wagner would have to be one.
But look, hold on. So I should take this back, man. Okay, so I don't think it's actually as difficult as I'm making it, because basically what I'm implying is that those players are going to be sitting on the practice squad every single week. And this comment states that it says the rule. It says the rule is you can protect 4 players every week on the practice squad who would be our 4. So that's implying that Plant. That would be implying like. Well, and Jade's another player you'd 100% want to.
Jade Severa.
Yeah, you'd want to.
I think what they're going to do is they're going to rotate that practice squad protection. They're going to.
But that's all I'm saying is like, so when I'm saying the 4, right? These are all young players, and then that would be implying that all 4 of those young players were on the practice squad at the exact same time. But there is things that would say that you can rotate players in and out of games. So that way you're taking a veteran player off, bringing in a younger player, but nobody's going to want the veteran player. You know what I mean? Like they would already have taken him. And we did that multiple times last year. So
Yeah, exactly.
if I think like one solid player that I would say would be protected every single week throughout the NFL is Chase. Like Chase is the only guy you can literally sit and say this second because you know he ain't starting. That's the only reason I would say Chase, if he stays on the team, he's getting protected 100%. And I don't see why you want to keep him here. You need a quarterback in the practice squad that's a young player. So I think Chase is here 100%, dude. Like, I think 100% because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if Hoyer is here or not. Like, I think that's what a lot of people ain't understanding is in the new rule states you are allowed to have 3 quarterbacks ready on the deal, but he doesn't count and he doesn't suit up. So that's all I'm saying is like, even if you have Jimmy Aiden and Hoyer, they're only going to count as 2, like on there. So Chase would go to the practice squad, in my opinion. I don't see why you wanted. I don't see why
Yeah, because Hoyer would have to be the guy on the sideline not to up, right?
He's the old dude. He's the old guy waiting on to be called up last. Like that's how I would look at it.
It's like an emergency sub.
Yeah,
that's how I would look at it. I think you would want to.
Yeah, he's an emergency sub, basically.
Yeah, and Hoyer has the experience, but you want Aiden to get as much experience as possible, physically possible. So you'd want Aiden suited, and you'd want him to be ready, dude. So Hoyer would be the guy that can be there, giving him the information, but doesn't count against the roster. That's helping him out like another coach. You know, exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense. Especially, yeah, because I think they brought out the rule because of what happened in the 49ers with their quarterback situation.
Yeah, I think like in that case, that's how I would look at it. But like I said, I can only name one person that I would say like just this second that I would. He'd be the only guy. Like he would be 100%. Ooh, okay, so 2. I have 2 players that would be 100. Is Sincere McCormick and fucking Chase Garbers. Those would have to be my 2 100s if Sincere gets reverted back to the practice squad, which he most likely is gonna be. I would most definitely, like I said, somebody like Bolden's gonna get cut, bro, because if Josh shows back up, like I've heard he's coming back, like Josh is gonna be here week 1. So and I've even heard he's gonna be here before week 1.
Have you guys talked on that thing yet? I think he just went
over that running back. We can talk on it next. On it next. But long story short is that with him here, you're gonna go to Zamir. That's 2 already. Then you're gonna bring Brown. I think, like I said, Bolden's ass out of here, dude, and Amir will make it. It's gonna be Austin and Sincere that'll probably be reverted, and then unless Sincere can beat out Amir, you would protect him.
Austin might get cut unless he goes down as a veteran player, because I think Austin's a veteran, so I think he'd have to go under the veteran rule if he goes back to squad.
Yeah, but you can still get him there and protect him. So that's the thing is you probably wouldn't even have to protect him, but you'd probably want to because I can see him being another Chris Warren III. Where motherfucker gonna go get that fool and take him off our team after playing pretty well. But look, at the end of the day, somebody's gonna have to go. So you can't keep everybody and you can't protect everybody. So good players are gonna end up. And if we ended up with Josh and Sincere, Brown and Zamir at the end of the day, and somebody took Austin off our practice squad, well, that's just the way the game's played. You know what I mean? So, but I would be content with those 4 dudes for sure out there on the line. So
yeah, I go definitely JJ, Zamir, probably Brown, and then Abdullah, and then
I mean that would be
protect Sincere, like you said.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Amir is there and Sincere is protected. You would still have Amir, Brown, and Zamir. So I mean, and then if you're breaking down the rotation, Josh and Zamir would be your 2 main backs. Brown and Amir would be your rotational back. So
yeah, I think Abdullah would still be there, like scat back, the down guy.
I think he'll be there until proven otherwise. I mean, why wouldn't he be?
I don't see why not. I mean, to me, Amir was a pretty good scat back for us last year.
I mean, hell, he did his roundhouse kick a few times in the end zone. So
exactly, it's that guy that can run it out the sideline for us on certain plays.
He was that dude that was like, everybody be kung fu fighting. Gives kicks as fast as lightning. All right, let's go to a Josh conversation so we can talk on the Josh. The Josh.
The Josh.
The Josh.
The Josh.
Yeah, so I think
This
they're
drama.
overhyping him
This
leaving
drama.
Vegas.
Hey, this motherfucker better start dating a Kardashian here soon,
Yeah.
man. Like, I'm telling you.
You dated Reggie
yeah.
Bush.
This motherfucker about to have his own goddamn weekly drama podcast here real quick.
Yeah, does he still want to be a Raider or not? That's the question.
I
Well,
think
it's
he
your
does.
talk. It's your topic, so get on it.
Yeah,
Not
so
Yeah, go for it.
so this morning I heard that he caught a flight out to we don't know where the heck, but then I heard from you, Dustin, that he went out to train somewhere with the
Yeah,
trainer.
he goes out with somebody that he's close to deal. So long story short, at the end of the day, like I've heard multiple deals, like Josh is gonna be back, and I've even heard that he'll be back as soon as inside the preseason, that he's not holding out for long term and that he's not gonna be here. Like I've heard from pretty good sources that Josh is going to suit up week 1. So there's no doubt about it. And people are sitting here taking out like him, oh, they're getting into camp. If Josh isn't gonna be here, everybody's coming here. He's friends with everybody, dude. Like he ain't gonna be in camp. Like he's not gonna want to do that. And again, last year Josh took off and trained with another guy outside there too. And that again, like it's not uncommon for players like this to do things like that at these points. But from what I've heard,
But
and
the
I'll bet
one thing-
pretty good money on it, that Josh is gonna be there week 1.
But the
He
one
will
thing
sign
that I
and he
really
will play.
kind of want him to work on is his pass blocking. Get better
mean,
at that.
You can only get better. He's strong. He's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
if Jalen Richard can do it, I'm pretty sure he can do it. You know, he'll just have to not want to always want the ball. I mean, that's a problem with guys like Jacobs is it's not that he can't do it. He goes one-on-one with dudes all the fucking time. It's the other thing about him is that he wants to get up and around him for you to throw him the ball. Like that's the other side of him where he's like he wants to get the yards and then hit a motherfucker. So I think like this year, Josh is going to take a reality check if he does sign and play because he's most definitely not going to be. He's not going to get the ball nowhere close to what people think. I mean, I've said it. Zamir is going to get 75 snaps.
Yeah.
He's getting 75 snaps. You can mark it. Like, I'll bet anything he's getting 75
And
snaps.
plus that, he will not be the leading rusher. Again, somebody else will be a leading rusher.
And look, dude, I was sitting there. I think it was me and you talking about it. Is
B.J. Robinson.
yeah, Robinson would probably be the most solidified candidate in the NFL to be able to get it. And this is the reasons why. He has a good offensive line, and I'm not saying they're great or they're phenomenal. I'm just saying they're a good offensive line. They have a fucking quarterback that's not a very good quarterback second year in. They got good receivers and so on, but they're going to depend to drop off the ball a lot. And when they depend to drop off the ball a lot, and if Robinson gets up the ball, and here's another guy that people probably ain't thinking, Gibbs is another rookie over there in the motherfucking Lions. Like they've already shown that the Lions have had 1,000-yard backs, so it's not going to be uncommon if this dude just breaks loose. And the problem with Swift and Jamal is every time they had a chance to be phenomenal, they always got hurt. So at some point in the year, they were going to get hurt and down themselves. Where I feel like Gibbs, like this is the thing why people look at us and think like, oh, like listen, you're not looking at a lot of reasons why Josh got those yards, and you can be blind to it or not. The odds state that a player like one of those, and I wouldn't say Bryce Hall because Bryce Hall just got Aaron Rodgers with way too many offensive weapons, so I couldn't see him. But Henry, and again, they got fucking Hopkins a lot. Like, it's going to be tough. Henry can most definitely get his yards. Like, Henry's going to get his yards. I don't give a fuck, you know?
What about Taylor?
I don't know. Taylor has been washy. Same with Najee Harris. Like, I don't think Najee Harris is a guy that can do it. I think Taylor, I mean, if the right circumstances are together, I mean, I couldn't see why he couldn't get it.
What about,
I'm just looking
James,
more like. Say
the
again?
one from
Are you
Arizona.
talking about the rushing title?
Yeah.
Just saying, yeah, rushing yards, rushing title. That's why I say with like.
Do you think a rookie?
Yeah.
A rookie
I think
is your favorite
I
to
think
win a rushing title?
I think fucking
Taylor
Bijan
did it
Robinson
as a
has
rookie.
a really good chance to go out and get the rushing title. I mean,
I
in
think
the
it will depend on
circumstances of the team, the way that the team set up with the offensive line and the players with the quarterback, I can see it 100%. if you're dominating the ball off the dude his height and his stature, if he's just running your fucking ass over, why wouldn't he? Like that's the whole thing is like in his circumstance in that team fit him to be able to have that type of success. All I'm saying is here, we're not set up like that no more. The reason that we were like that is because we were kind of like that minus the players. You know what I mean? Like that's the reason people aren't looking at it. I've said Gibbs in the lines. You can say rookie or not. He's a phenomenal player. He's come out of a system that's had 1,000-yard back on 2 dudes, like, and they were young players. So again, to sit there and say that he couldn't run for 1,500 yards, I mean, Christian McCaffrey, I mean, that'd be tough because
because he's a receiving back. He's
step
back.
Again, I just think you've got too many. Like if you're trying to go with your quarterback, like Purdy throwing all these things, you got a lot of weapons there. So like to get those type of yards
and now,
would be hard.
And now
I think Henry, like to me, if I'm just gonna bet hardcore money, it's Henry 100% for me because just the way he runs, the yards that he averages per game, I would bet hardcore money it's Henry. Like no doubt.
Where did Robert Woods go to the Colts?
That's a good one. I don't know.
I think he went to the Colts.
But long story short, I mean, like with the Josh Jacobs deal, he's going to leave because of a lot of reasons. I mean, people don't want to sit there and see everybody why he can't be there with the team. I mean, that shit matters. That shit bothers people. That shit matters to people. So at the same point, like I said, I believe the source that I've said this about Jimmy, man. I said this fucking dude was going to be here. I said this the whole fucking time in that deal. Like, everybody keeps talking all these crazy fucking myths and all these bullshit deals. I've said it the day after we signed the motherfucker about the injury and about the surgery and about him being here in the beginning of camp, if not no later than training or after the preseason. And then he even said that if he came in the preseason that he'd probably wait out till the regular season unless he felt he needed to play a game before then. But again, it's not no news. It's not news. Like, with Josh, he did this shit last year. I keep saying, people, you know, like this is the one thing I think is bullshit about people where they say the Raiders are doing Josh dirty. Ziegler's not giving him the contract. Listen, you can have your biasness against that shit all you want, but this is the facts. If they would have signed Josh on the 5th-year tender, he would only got $8 million. He would have only got $8 million, and he would have said shit, he'd be playing. And the fact that Ziegler and them turned it down, dude, to give him $2 million more, dude, on the tag, ain't trying to fuck anybody. They're not trying to fuck nobody. They ain't trying to do nobody dirty. They're actually trying to help them, and especially in the year where they're trying to build the team around where they just can't designate all contracts to everybody. Next year, he'd probably be the first motherfucker to get the contract, and sometimes people just have to wait. And at the end of the year, at the end of the day, if Josh goes to the table and says, man, I'm going to turn down $10 million for 1 year, he's fucking dumb as hell. The tag's 13.5 next year. So if he got tagged for this year and next year, he'd make $23 million. You know what the math is? $11.5 million per fucking year. So wouldn't he want to be tagged for both years? Like, this is the thing that people ain't. That's why I think.
Yeah, they don't realize how the tag works.
He's going to be there first day. The math doesn't. The math says you would not turn down $11.5 million a year. You're not going to do it, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to tag him twice. Why wouldn't you?
I think, and it would be in favor for Josh to do it because he ain't going to get $13.5 million from another deal. He's only going to get a base contract with the signing bonus.
And it's guaranteed. It's fully $23 million.
If he takes the tag the second time, he makes $11.5 in 2 years. Then he signs out the contract for 2 to 3 years at the end. Yeah, fucking A. Exactly.
Fully guaranteed. Those 2 years will be fully, this year, next year will be fully guaranteed because the tag is fully guaranteed.
Yep.
The second he signs it. The second Josh signs it, it's guaranteed as long. So look, it's fully guaranteed as long as Josh shows up to this game. If Josh doesn't show up to the game, it's not. He doesn't get the check. So
exactly, it makes it fair to both sides. He doesn't show up to the game, he doesn't get paid. If I don't show up to work, I don't get paid. So I don't see why people.
That's facts, dude. Yeah. I say this all the time. Hey, I say this all the time. I don't give a fuck if you're. Listen, people say this. They say, well, if this guy was to get hurt, then he's got to worry about his career. Well, let me tell you some facts here real quick, okay? Let's put some simple facts. if Josh Jacobs turns his ankle tomorrow, he's set for the rest of his life regardless. He got $11.2 million in the fucking first 4 years of his career. He can break a leg, he can break a neck, dude. He's gonna be fine the rest of his fucking life. You're getting fucking greedy, and you're asking me to be like, oh, okay, he didn't show up today, so he don't get $588,000. Like, you're fucking stupid as hell. He's playing 1 hour of 1 hour of football, 60 minutes. He's probably gonna be on the field for probably like 30, 35, or 25 fucking minutes of that. And then you're telling me I feel sorry that motherfucker ain't getting paid $588,000 today. You fucking dumb as hell. Like, that's the kind of shit we're at. We're at the point that we just want to give dudes crazy retirement money where you got to go to work for a year and don't even make $50,000. You see what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make no sense. And then for me to have to justify, I think it's stupid ass shit. Like, you tell me, even in the company I run, the business that I run, everything that I fucking do, even helping the other people that I help with their company, like, there's no fucking way. If a motherfucker give me $11 million and I twist my ankle tomorrow, oh, fucking poor me, I'll probably still be at work. Like, there's a big fucking difference. Like, when I broke my toes or fucking been ran over, like, I'm going to be at work. Like, so for me,
Dustin,
I don't want to hear
Dustin,
no
when you
crying
injured your
bullshit.
gut, weren't you back at work the next day?
Damn right. I mean, I'm at work every day, dude. Like, nothing's going to stop me unless a fucking arm or leg or death, you know? Like, that's all I'm saying is like, these dudes want us to feel sorry that this guy don't get a fully guaranteed contract, that if he gets hurt tomorrow, he can't play. Listen, motherfucker, if he just came in the NFL and he only played for 1 fucking year, I'd probably feel sympathetic for you. But the fact that you've been here for 4 fucking years, going on 5, made 11.2 million, I don't feel sympathetic for you at all, motherfucker. I can care less what guaranteed fucking money you got. I've said it. You got enough guaranteed money that already that you can fucking retire the rest of your life and be just fine. So you're just trying to sit here and play like Aaron Rodgers games, dude, where you just got fuck you money. Like, that's all you're trying to do at these points, because $10 million to any person right here in this chat, this panel, that'd change your life and your family. Change everybody you fucking know's life. $10 million, you're done. You know, you ain't going broke for your lifetime. You're going to have nice homes, nice cars, fucking have everything. You ain't going to be bitching about, oh, I don't have 11. Oh, man, wish I had 11. Like, fucking, you see what I'm saying? It's some bullshit. And look, at $10 million would probably change all 4 of our families. You know what I mean? Not just yours, not his or his or his.
Million.
I'm saying $10 million for all 4 of us to motherfucking gather, and that's our families.
I'll take 2.5 million in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point. Like, these dudes are just fucking greedy. They're fucking sitting here and feel sorry. Shut the fuck up. Get your money. You got a 10.1.
I'll tell you a fun fact.
10.09 million guaranteed. Just sign the bitch, show up, play.
I'll tell you a fun fact with that. What we just said about 2.5 million. That's more higher paid than any AFL player over here in Australian rules football. So
yeah. Hey, there you go. That shit's crazy. I've been watching on that, man. That shit's crazy.
The highest,
dude.
The highest paid in that game is 1.35. That's like
that's all I'm trying. And they don't use pads or nothing, and they're probably getting concussions every other fucking play. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. We got to feel sorry for these guys. Like, that's why I keep saying Josh is not going to sit out. Josh won't sit out. Josh will be here, dude. Like, Saquon can sit out. He's got what is Saquon made? Like 40 million? Like, Saquon's made money. So I mean, you're not gonna just sit here and be like, Saquon ain't gonna pay Jacobs fucking bills. You know what I mean? And what did they say out of the players meeting after they all met up with old fucking Eckler of all dudes? What did they say? They said, even with the meeting, even with everything everybody said, there's probably nothing going to be done. And the reason why it's not going to be done is because the Player Association just bid on this shit a year ago, and nobody found ground to be able to change it. And then what's his name? Fucking the lawyer fucking dude that's on the talk shows, but he's a sports analyst. Fucking, oh, what the hell is that guy's name? Fuck, he does it with Chris Sims, man. Fucking Brian Florio. Brian Florio said, oh, man, why did I just space that? I just read that message, motherfucker.
Didn't he basically say something like they can't renegotiate yet because of when they negotiated last time? Something along those lines.
God damn it! What was I just talking about, man? My bad. I just read that message and blanked that whole thing hardcore.
You're basically saying about Brian Florio talking on the running back meeting. So.
Okay, what Brian Florio said is that a few years back, they actually had a bargaining agreement just for the running backs alone. So they weren't even in part of the fucking like salary manage on how they got paid. And they said that shit didn't even work then. So that's all I'm saying. Look, I'm gonna just stick by what I keep saying over and over and over. The halfback position is gonna die out eventually. They're gonna put a fucking wide receiver back there, like a guy like Juju Smith that has the bigger size body that can run and hit a dude, and they're gonna get that fucking money. Like that's how they're gonna make the transition. Yeah, that's exactly what I said this morning. The same thing. Because, like I said, you're going to. That's the only way you can justify the money at that point. You know what I mean? If dudes are justifying
the running back / wide receiver, like the one for the
say again.
Debo
Samuel, exactly. And look,
what the future looks like.
And look, Sky Moore for the fucking Chiefs. I mean, there's going to be a lot of type players that are like that. Salute, Mike. There's going to be a lot of players that are like that are going to get transitioned over time. That's why I think the halfback position will be obsolete, because you're going to have dudes like Debo that are going to go over there and say, hey, we're going to get paid fucking $18 million, but I'm going to be a receiver / fucking halfback. And then whenever I got to rotate down in there, I'll sit there. And anytime they need to put me out to 5 wide, that's where they're going to go. And I think that's why over the years, that the halfback position will just minimize itself, because they're just going to say, well, we don't need a guy back there that's going to run. And, somebody said this. I think it was, it was a good halfback. He said, and I'll remember his name in a second, but he said basically after the meeting he was like, yeah, we're the only position that actually diminishes with the yards that we run. They were like, if we go out there and fucking run for 340 times for 1,600 yards, they look at it as a bad thing because it's yardage off of me. Like, wear and tear on me is basically what he's saying. But if you go look at a baseball player, for instance, and this is a valid point. If you look at fucking, what's that fool's name? Judge.
Chubb?
Joe Judge or?
Oh, Joe Judge, the coach.
No, what the fuck is the baseball player that was just here that went to Fresno State, dude, that just got his contract? What's his name? Cortez fucking plays in the Yankees, man. Why am I spacing that fucking dude's name? I know it's Judd or something. What is it?
Nick Chubb was the one. No, not for that, but Nick Chubb was the one who said about the more carries they have and the more yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Nick Chubb.
And look, long story short about the baseball player. Basically, what he's saying is if a baseball player goes out and slaps 75 home runs, the harder he hits, the harder he swings, the harder he does it throughout the season. They don't look at it like it's yards taken off on him, and they don't look at Aaron Judge, that's his name, and they don't look at receivers when they go out there and run for 1,600 fucking receiving yards. That it's the physicality of where the halfback position is. But like I get it, like I get what he's saying. But at the same time, I don't think that's how it is, because numerous guys in Ezekiel Elliott, numerous dudes have been paid. Todd Gurley, numerous dudes have been paid on the contract. The problem is that's the problem. They falter on the contract. So let's go back to the draft. You know why the draft is set? Do you know why the draft is set at set prices now for first round players? Fucking and DeMario Williams. Yeah. They had a plethora of players. There was like 3 or 4 players in that time span in that few years that all were the highest picks in the draft, and they all seeked out 55 million, 60 million, 63 million, and that was their contracts as rookies. So it was hindering fucking teams, and then the NFL was like, hell no, too many teams are designating too much money to rookie players that's never even taken a snap in the NFL. So after that Jamarcus Russell contract, the NFL was like, nah, we have to minimize the loss in teams' deals. So that's where they came up with first round players can only exceed like 35 million. Like, first round first pick is like 40 million, I think, is the cap on it. But I think it's like 35, 36 million. But long story short, Exactly, and that's all I'm saying is like you have to minimize casualty costs at all costs whatsoever. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying is like the market is already shown over the time span outside of Derrick Henry who the fuck is owned up to their contract. You know what I mean? Like Derrick Henry is really the only one. Christian McCaffrey been injured year after year after year. There's no way they can say that he's validated his contract, dude. Like there's no way. So to sit here and say that, like, imply those or not, you can't do that. Henry's the only guy injured now. He's been the only guy that still put down the yardage, put down the back-to-backs. Like, only, like I said, injured. Dude, in 9 or 8, what was it, 8 games, 10 touchdowns? Like, he finished out more touchdowns.
They had almost 1,000 yards. Like 9, 7,
yeah,
8.
And, yeah, exactly. And then you have fucking Josh over here got to go 17 games or even fucking 12 to 15 games to even eclipse the 1,000-yard mark. And not only that, he's only eclipsed 12 touchdowns twice in his life, dude, and has never been over it. Derrick Henry's never been under 10. You know what I mean? Never been under 10. Like this dude barely been over 10. Barely over 10.
And that's why I say, and I've been saying this the whole time, even though I'm a big JJ fan, that's why you can't pay more than the tag, because the tag is the fifth highest cap hit for running backs this year.
Yeah, and then look at Henry's contract because they had to restructure it last year and everything to move money around. He's getting paid $16 million this year, like $16.3 million.
Yeah, but that's like the only cap hit though. Is his cap hit is actually like 10.8, I think.
Yeah, it's low.
Yeah,
but that's why I say that's why they did it.
But I think the cash
they did that the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that with Devontae and Max Crosby last year too, the same way.
They should do the same thing with JJ. Just pay some of it in cash incentives.
Yeah, but I don't know if they can do that kind of shit now. I think the only thing they can do is restructure his contract for 1 year, and that's this year. So I don't know what the technicalities. Like you can't give a signing bonus. I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, how would you give a signing bonus if all you're doing is restructuring the contract? So, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I guess you can do a signing bonus because you can do a signing bonus no matter how you do it. Because look, dudes are reverting money into signing bonuses. So.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can revert money into signing bonus.
Yeah, I don't know how they would do all that kind of shit either. You know what I mean?
I'm sure Ziegler knows. He knows all the loopholes. I'm sure.
Yeah, and you'd want it to be where they give them the money and it doesn't, like, you're not seeing it off the cap at all. Like, you'd want Mark to come down and pay him the money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, that's how I would think you'd want to do it, you know?
Yeah, that's what a lot of teams do to get the cap down.
Yeah,
that way they can sign more players and stuff.
Do you have anything else you want to talk on the subject?
Just that people need to realize that the tag is actually like the 4th highest base salary among running backs in 2023, which means he's basically getting the 4th highest guaranteed money among running backs for 2023.
Yeah, and that's facts. You know, a lot of people don't look at.
Because I can name 4 running backs better than him right now, off the top of my head, like McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb, and fucking Alvin Kamara.
Facts. I mean, like I said, Cook has had just as good a production.
And Dalvin Cook's another one. Yeah, Joe Mixon's had more touchdowns for his men touches. So
here's this one subject I want to talk on real quick, and then we got a few more subjects we can speak on, then we're going to hop off. But you guys hear about Caleb Williams at Allegiant Stadium?
Yeah, I heard about that. I was actually surprised by that one.
That's crazy as hell that this motherfucker be claiming like he wants to come to the Raiders, help save the Raiders, this, that, the other. And then this motherfucker just shows up at Allegiant Stadium like, what's up? Like,
I don't know if there's trolling.
Good Lord.
Or what. Yeah, I don't know if there's trolling or what.
I don't even know, is that shit legal? I mean, can you do that shit? I mean,
technically he's just a fan visiting the stadium. I don't see why not.
Yeah, but man, he's a quarterback for USC, bro. He's the #1 draft pick in the draft come next year. And this fool over here, visiting the Raiders, talking about, oh, I want to be with the Raiders. I'll play for the Raiders. Out at their field, gawking like a motherfucker.
Hey, if he really wants to be a Raider, he can just fake an ankle injury halfway through the season if it looks like we're getting a top 20 pick.
Well, you know what? They have us picked at the 14th. MGM Bet got us at the 14th pick in the draft next
Yeah,
year.
don't be surprised if you start hearing like some injury news about Caleb Williams or some fucking some other fake news that they put out there to make him drop.
That'd be the craziest shit. But hey, look, you know as well as I know, I don't think there's any info that's going to get put out there that is going to make it where nobody's going to pick up Caleb. I
know. You'd have to trade up for him, so anyway. And even
who was the quarterback that had the receiver, Jermo? He had a torn ACL, bro. And
exactly. They still picked him up. Yeah, they still picked him up.
Yeah, the 12th pick. You know what I mean? Like, so this is like Caleb would have to what Caleb should do is just go out there and throw footballs at the ground. Fucking. That's probably where he'd probably fit his best is just go out there, throw footballs at the ground, and then he'd probably have his best chance at that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because if we're picking there, I mean, unless you're just trading all the way up to the first pick, I just gonna see it happen. I just thought it was cool as fuck that I thought it was. It says that's where the Pac-12 championship is. Yeah, but he went there on a tour. He went there on the tour of Allegiant Stadium, so he could have been there for a game, or he was there on visit. Like that fool was a troll. Like I almost feel like if he had Jackson fucking Mahomes, I'm just kidding. But I don't know, man. I mean, it'd be interesting if we were able to.
Interesting if we did what the 49ers did for Trey Lance. That's for sure. You know how they gave up the house to move up to get a quarterback.
Yeah, they gave up 3 first round. They gave up 3 first round picks, but I've said Caleb Williams is a different story. Like
exactly, I think he'd actually pan out in that situation.
Yeah,
unlike Trey Lance.
What I'm saying is that the fucking team. So look, the difference when they gave up the first round pick this year, the Bears were like, hey, we don't think CJ Stroud is going to be better than fucking Justin Fields, so we're just not much better, right?
Yeah.
But if Caleb Williams on that board, I don't think you're saying that. I don't think you have that same conversation. So all I'm saying is like Caleb Williams is intrigued to like 27 teams in the NFL, like literally, like maybe even 28, 29, like Caleb Williams can change the way your whole entire franchise operates. So, like, this is the thing I keep trying to tell people
but with Caleb Williams, we're not gonna. We may not be able to get him where we're drafting at. We're gonna have to do multiple.
I mean, the only way we're gonna get him is if Jimmy goes out, breaks his leg in fucking week 1, and that's the only way. And even with our backups, dude, we're gonna win games. We're not gonna win games. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't give a fuck if it's Aiden or
12-5. I've been saying that all season. 12-5.
Yeah, I mean, I said 10-7. I think would be logic. 11-6 would probably be about where I think. I mean, 12-5 would be if just everything is just favoring in our favor. And look, it's not unrealistic to see it. To see 12-5, and people sit here and say like, "Oh,
top 20 defense and still win."
Dude, there were 6 games last year, 6 or 7 games that we gave up a lead in, 6 or 7.
By like less than a touchdown.
We were 6 and 11 last year.
I think it was 7 close games all up. I think.
Yeah, so if you add 6 of the 6, that's 12 wins. Add 5, you're at 11. Add 4, you're at 10. You see what I'm saying? Like. If you were just to add a few of those games there, we would have already, and that was with that defense giving up those points. Like, that's what people are not understanding, apparently, when they look at the team. I don't know how they don't see that shit.
Definitely the defense as well. Definitely 100% the defense as well. But you also got to take account that we had a lot of 3-and-outs on offense as well, a lot of field goals.
Yeah, and again, this offense is way better than better than the offense last year, in my opinion.
I agree.
I think by far.
The special teams, this is going to be a surprising because the long snapper's a left-hander compared to C that was a right-hander. So they've been practicing learning how to get the ball from the left from our new. I forget his name. That's crazy.
Boyama, whatever his name is.
Yeah, bro. I have never heard of a long snapper that snaps with his left hand. I always thought it was a right hand.
I thought it was right hand too. That's
Yeah, no,
surprising.
he's a lefty. That's crazy.
weird.
So you know, them three during the off season when we go on to breaks, them three have been practicing as much as possible to get that down. So there's no fuck up
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, because that's going to make it weird for Carlson, isn't it, when he kicks his field goals? Having a snap from
Yeah,
the
but
leg
I don't
kick.
think with the snap or the kicks that I mean, you'd have to think, like he's even said, it's just gonna spiral differently. You know what I mean? And
Spiral
he's probably
differently. That's what
already,
AJ Cole's been saying during
and
their
he's probably
practice.
already taken plenty
Yeah.
of snaps with them to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
it
I don't
shouldn't make that
think.
much difference, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
It
think
was
it's.
just something to bring up. Like I have never heard of a left long snapper.
Yeah, that's sounding a bit weird having a lefty. So I'm just
Yeah, I
thinking
mean,
of
shit, I think.
the motion. Because the way they had to bring up their leg to kick the ball from the snap is just going to be like almost like opposite sides, but I don't know, it's just a little weird. Or it's just going to have to spiral a little different towards the right.
Hey,
leg
just
or
for
whatever.
the fun of it, I used to kick with both feet. That shit was crazy when I was a kid. I would go to my grandparents and go kick the ball off a tee and would practice with both feet kicking off.
What, to go out and kick right and left foot? Right and left foot.
Yeah, some people
And,
amputate.
and the other crazy thing is I could pitch with my right and left hand. Both hands. That shit's crazy.
That would be
with
for
my with my right, I'm a sidearm. With my left, I'm just a regular. And my
See, I can't even. I don't even think I can throw left-handed. Like I think if I put shit in my left hand, like I'd probably be so dead. Like a football dude, I'd probably be like,
I think
like fucking right. Hey, I'll dot that mother.
I think the only reason I can do it with my left hand is I used to do recycling, so I used to throw cans and shit with my left hand at times. So I used to use my left.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, so the
That'd
only reason that I have the genetic, I think, is
that's one thing
because
that
my
Bill Gamer
mom
was
was.
thinking. It made me ambidextrous.
Yeah,
my mom was
my
a
brother, my
left-hander
younger brother,
first.
he can do right and left.
Dustin, my mom would always write with her left hand. She would never use her right hand. She was a lefty. So that's where I think I got it. Both my dad's a righty, my mother's a lefty. And sometimes
my brother,
when my mom
he can
needed
do either way.
like cans to be open, like with using a can opener, she couldn't do it. So she would always ask me when I was a kid, "Oh son, open this can. I need it open." Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. My kids can do right or left. I can't do right or left.
Yeah, bro. Like,
I mean, I can do certain things like probably right, but it probably look like chicken scratch. Yeah, mine would look like a 2-year-old trying to write left-handed for sure.
Pretty much.
They'd be like, "What did that say?" I'd be like, "Scribble, scribble." Like straight up, scribble, scribble. Like, fuck, I don't fucking know.
I can barely write my name in print left-handed.
Hey, Dustin.
Hey, facts, dude. Fucking write a regular right-handed.
Hey, Dustin, I'm gonna start a new profession soon too.
What is it?
It's help people get their credit fixed.
Hey, that'd be a good deal.
I
Don't borrow
did it
money
for a
and
minute.
spend it.
I did it for a minute, but that's just a side piece money. You know why?
Hey, whatever makes money these days, man. Whatever makes money.
Hey, bro, you know why I'm trying to do this so I could go down south?
Hey, Uber Eats pays too.
So
at the end of the day, I just thought it was funny about that. I thought it was funny about that topic, man. That's the only reason I thought I'd bring it up.
Hey, so did we talk about Jimmy G already?
No. Do you want to talk about the Meek? I mean, we already basically speaked on Peters.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Meek's
Meek's probably up
gone.
out of this. Yeah, Meek out of here. Jimmy G passes physical. Thoughts on Jimmy at training camp? Josh no longer wants to be a Raider.
Oh no, we already did that one. That was just this one.
Yeah. Basically, we'll just talk on Jimmy G the last. So we basically got Jimmy G passes physical and Jimmy G at camp, and it's both your guys'.
I
Still.
said June 17th he would be good to go. And
I just
And
want
he-
to state that I said from the beginning he would be there. And I
Yes.
said that back when we signed him on the press conference the day after. And I
Yep.
said even then when they brought up the fact that they were going to do the surgery and people were like, oh, we're just so fucking mind blown that he got surgery right after. Like, I think people are so crazy when they talk about our team or the way people are. They literally said that they prolonged
Hey,
the
Dustin.
deal because they had to
Hey,
talk
Dustin,
about
behind
things
the
and talk
scenes,
about certain things.
on the phone, did we have a conversation about how he has a number one receiver here that's better than Samuel? Samuel's a gadget player. A number two receiver that he's familiar with, I believe. No.
I would say if you're looking at our offense compared to their offense, the outside of the line, just because of like Trent Williams, I would say like we're better. Like there's no
Yeah,
doubt. Like
definitely.
our receivers around are better. Our halfback is better. I mean, I'm not going to say Christian McCaffrey isn't a better all-around back. I know he is. There's no argument in that. But this is before Christian McCaffrey got there because they were running with Elijah Mitchell and all those dudes. So if we're just looking at where that team was when he was there, I would say that Jacob's team here is better. And again, that you got a guy that can manage the game with them because he's already done
and that
it
knows
with.
the playbook, but needs to learn the verbiage again.
Yeah, exactly. And he's already done it. He's already done it with other style players for a while at the Niners.
Hey, Dustin, I want to see him throw his first pass to DA in practice. That shit's gonna look nice.
I mean, I've said I think that's the only thing like you have to take into consideration, in my opinion, is just what is his chemistry with Devontae like it is with
we don't
Aiden.
know. We don't know if since he's been not participating, maybe they go work out with each other or practice.
I'm not gonna lie about that, but I bet you there's rules about Jimmy's injury that prevents him from being able to do that. You know what I mean? Like the NFL protects their players, and the NFL would probably have something in there stating that Jimmy can't do that to re-injure or or things of those factors because
they put a clause already. They said before that the clause was if he re-injures the same foot again, they can cut him with no cost.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jimmy couldn't sue him or even pursue it. So yeah, so that's all I'm saying. I think at the end of the day, I think that's what would matter at the end. You said why fucking. You know, Ern, for everybody here, man, bro, we just come talk football, man. We ain't here for the drama or any of that. Like, you want talking to football, bro. But outside of all the kid game bullshit, like, over here, bro, I don't even play that shit. So, if you want to come up in here and talk football, we can talk football. You're more than welcome anytime, man. All that little drama kid shit, man, you guys can do that on Instagram or wherever the fuck it is you guys decide to do that at. But outside of that, I mean, I think Jimmy at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, I think Jimmy at the end of the day is going to be the better option just because he has more experience. And you can't take away the experience. Like, you can't take away that he's been in a successful system. He's ran behind a good deal. He's played with good players. Like, you can't negligate those types of things. And we can sit here and be biased on, like, my biggest knock, I think, at the end of the day is just that the defense doesn't back up the offense like Jimmy's been on. That's all I'm arguing. Like, Jimmy's been on top fucking 5 defenses, top 1, 3, 5, 10. You know, like, we have fucking struggled to get out of 28. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and when we're sitting here saying, like, Jimmy's a good quarterback, nobody's arguing that. But the thing another statistic I would put right to factor instantly is Jimmy has had 12-4 record with 0 touchdowns, bro. Carr has had 3 games with no touchdowns and lost all 3 and been crucified for it. Like, there's no way you're telling me 16 games have been played with no touchdown thrown and we're over here like you're a good player. Like, bro, your defense won those games or you're halfback. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and argue about how he got it or who got it, but it wasn't you getting it. Derek Carr's averaged 225 and 2 touchdowns his whole entire career. You know what I mean? Like, he's scoring touchdown every game. So I don't, like, for me, I don't know how it's gonna work in those aspects.
I'll just
In
piggyback a
the
little bit.
regular,
Hey, Jimmy G's gonna be better in the red zone than Carr. Let's believe that.
I mean,
I'll
and
just
don't get me wrong. Go, Ozzy.
I just want to piggyback a little bit what you're saying with the whole like touchdown thing. I'd also have to get the numbers of like the passing yards and also the interceptions overall to kind of like
Yeah,
compare it.
Jimmy's only had one
Could be-
4,000 yard season. Jimmy's only had one 4,000 yard season, and Jimmy's been around 1,500, 2,500, 3,500 his whole career.
Yeah, but
So it's not like he's, you know, well, I mean, he's got a 40-17 record. So I mean, what is that? 57 games total. Yeah,
yeah, see,
57
that's not that
games.
many. Yeah, so that could be part of the reason.
I mean, fuck, 57 by 16. What is that? 1632. It's 4 fucking years, damn near. 4 full seasons. So I mean, I think when you're looking at his like where he's at, and look, that's why I say that record could be misleading massively.
Yeah, it can be misleading. Yeah.
Yeah, because if he goes out and plays 11 games, he got an 8-3 record, and then he sits out the rest of the season.
Exactly.
And you're doing that. Those are misrepresenting your record by far.
Yeah. Wasn't he at 16 touchdowns and like 4 INTs or something in that?
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, he did. Don't get me
not
wrong.
bad numbers when you think about it.
Fuck no, and you're going to be telling me that you're going to be able to have Devontae Adams over Debo Daniels? There's no way that there's no way we're having the conversation that Debo Samuels is in the same conversation as
there's
Devontae
no way.
Adams.
And
Like, there's just
freaking
not even
Jacoby
not even
Myers
happening.
over Ayuk any day of the week.
Yeah,
I picked Jacoby
Hey,
Myers
Renfro over whoever the fuck their
Over
slot
the
receiver is.
slot.
So that's why I say.
Hey, Dustin, I said this earlier. In 3 years, I could see Michael Mayer as better player than George Kittle.
I think, I was about to say that the only thing they got better right now as far as receiving threats is Kittle, but that might change, like Cortez said, in 3 years' time, depending how Mayo turns out.
Yeah, it's gonna take 3 years.
Did we have that conversation earlier, Dustin?
Yeah, you tried telling me this year, but I said the only way you can have. I said the only way you can have that type of conversation about Kittle is like you got to be 3 years down the road, 3-4 years before you can push those types of conversations. Yeah, that's what I said. I said minimal 3 just to even see where your yardage is to begin with. So
I mean, for him to even do it in 2 years, he'd have to win like offensive rookie of the year or some shit, and then go.
Yeah, you would just have to muck your ass the fuck out, like physically, mentally, every fucking aspect, dude. Like passing, blocking, you just have to be mucking your ass out, dude.
Hey, isn't Kittle more of a receiving tight end?
No, he can block a little as well.
Kittle will block your ass. He's one of the best blockers in the NFL.
Yeah, he's
Kelsey's the only one that really doesn't block, does he?
Kelsey's more receiving tight end. He can block, but he's not. Kittle can block better than Kelsey.
Yeah, Kittle's probably the best blocking tight end in the league, I would say.
I mean, there was a point where people were going to say Kittle was probably the best tight end in the league, dude, until his injuries.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Kittle was one of the most ruthless players, a physical receiver, really physical blocker.
I think
like, Kittle was going to be one of the best, if not.
I think Mark Andrews from Baltimore was getting up there, though, in that conversation.
Yeah, that is fact.
With Kelsey.
But that's all I say is like, when people look at Jimmy, man, like, Jimmy isn't going to be as bad as people think. The thing is like, if history is just to be what it says, history states Aiden O'Connell will take the squad at fucking sometime in the season. Now, it can be week 5, it can be week 7, 10, 11. It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is the odds say that Aiden O'Connell will see that field at one point or another. But when he sees that field, is he seeing it at a winning record or a losing record? Is he seeing it at our team gelling together or hindering itself at once? You know, like, all those things matter to me, because I feel like if Jimmy comes in and gets injured, is his injury going to bring him back in the end of the season? Does Aiden come in and win games or lose games? Then does it bring back in Jimmy to try to see if we can make it to the playoffs? Does Aiden take over and be able to get us to the playoffs and don't look back? You know, like all those things, there's a lot of questions in there. The odds are everybody already doubted Jimmy even getting here. Jimmy's already here. So I've stated this even when the presser was over. Who's to even say if Jimmy gets injured? You're with the top 5 top 5 medical team in all football. They've already been through shit like this and know how to fucking fix people and shit like this. So what makes you assume like he's just gonna get injured again? Who's to say if they don't put him in programs or weight loss programs or
what's the coach at the 49ers? I think because the coach at the 49ers cannot protect
Shanahan.
Either.
Shanahan
can't. He can't protect his quarterbacks either. So that's another thing.
Well, I think they're just really aggressive players, so they're hurting players all the time. I mean, it's not just the quarterback there; it's halfback, safeties, fucking receivers, tight ends. I mean, D linemen, offensive linemen. Like the Niners have so many injuries, it's not even funny. So they're injury prone like no tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think it's going to change here at the Raiders because we protect our quarterback pretty good.
Dude, and Derek Carr's been here for 9 years and only been injured 3 times. And I get it, like Jimmy and those he might have been injured 5 or 6 or maybe 8. But let's be real, Derek Carr has never had much where people are just getting on him to where it's like, fuck, I got to give up you know what I mean? Like he's just getting beat on that hard. Sacks are sacks, dude. If Jimmy's just a bitch and can't take the weight, well, probably shouldn't have quit looking so good and try to start working out a little more. You know what I mean? Like at some point in time, you got to defend yourself. I mean, your looks, what are you going to do? Like, don't hit me. Look at this smile. Like, I'll give you a hug here. Don't hit me. Lifetime. You know, and that's all I'm saying. Like, I think Jimmy isn't going to do as bad as people are claiming that he's going to do. I mean, look, there's been so many things people have said about our team, and they've been so ass wrong, it's not even funny. And then now we're getting to where we're building our team, where we're getting our team. Like, I didn't say I didn't want Peters. I just said the thing I would have did is wait until we got to the preseason if it was me, because I would want to try out our corners. The only thing that tells me why Peters is probably a lock as a #1 corner is, why would you sign him the day before veteran camp? Why would you sign him the day before veteran camp if he wasn't going to be your #1 corner? Like, he's your #1 corner, man. There's no fucking doubt in my mind. Now, if people want to say backup or that, you can say it however you want. He's going to be the #1 corner. Like, Nate Hobbs is a slot corner, so he's not going to be considered the #1 corner. And even if they did transition him to the outside, Nate Hobbs doesn't have the qualifications Marcus Peters does on paper. And even in his bad years, he still produced better than people in good years. So the fact for me is Marcus Peters going to be the #1 corner for the Raiders. There's not a guy on our team that has anywhere caliber of that guy.
Did we get the contract details yet for Peters?
No, I just heard 1 year, $5 million is what I heard.
Yeah, that's almost vet minimum, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I heard that we're -$3 million right now, -2-3 million, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so someone like David Long or someone like that will get cut.
But that's all I'm saying is like when you're looking at those types of things, that's why people are like, oh, he's going to be the rotation. Okay, if he's going to be a rotation player,
$5 million is not.
I would just say if he's a rotation player, name me the 2 players in front of him. I would love to hear the 2 players in front of him, because I've looked over this list 1,000 times, and there is no 2 guys in front of him. And the outside, there's no 2 guys. Shelley isn't going to be over him. Faceum's not going to be over him. Fucking Long's not going to be over him. Robertson's not going to be over him. Webb's not going to be over him. Hobbs, depending on how you want to put him on there. But Hall, Bennett, Cosby, there's not a fucking receiver, or there is not a corner on this motherfucking team that even has the fucking stature that Marcus fucking Peters has in any way, shape, or form. No way, shape, or form.
I think we're going to get $2 million back on Bolden anyway. So there's $2 million right there. So.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can move numerous people for money. I mean, just go look at the contract. The contract
players. I
Greg
said
Van
he
Ron
could
might
get
get cut.
$16 million. I mean, not bringing back. What the fuck did my pen just fall, dude? Like, the fucker fell and hit it right here, but I cannot find the motherfucker at all.
Curtis Bolton.
Whatever. Either way, that pisses me off because I really like that pen, but I think it fell under my seat. But either way, freaking my bad. I get
Yeah,
my.
I was just saying we can just cut Bolden and Curtis Bolton and
That's what I'm
Brandon
saying.
Bolden. There's your money right there for the
I
minus
see.
3 million.
Not even close. So, and that's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, when you're looking at the signings or the players, I don't like I said. When Casey Hayward was here, he played good football. I won't argue it, but his production fell off at the end of the season. There's no doubt about it. No debating it, no arguing
That's why I
it.
said he played okay because, like you said, that Chargers game was horrible. Remember week 18?
You're looking at that. I'm looking at him, and I'm just hoping we don't have the same problem.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because that week 18 game against the Chargers, our secondary was fucking horrible in that game.
Harbaugh re-sign him for $5 million. You know, like that's the whole question I have to ask myself at the end of the day. If Peters was the best player on that team to be with those corners, why wouldn't you sign him for $5 million? That's all I'm saying. So
Yeah, you got a
outside of
question.
that is what it is, you know.
That's why I said by week 8 I could see him being the third corner on the team.
We got some good shit. Man, that fucking pen is gonna bug me crazy, bro. Like that bitch literally fell right off my board. I watched it hit in the dark right there. And then, motherfucker. Oh man, my fucking deal shut off. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, Cortez?
What happened?
I think he's looking for a pen or something in the
Is he gonna
thing to-
come back? Because I don't have the keys to the channel.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. So I was just saying that the minus 3 million, we can make that money back easy. I mean, I think Curtis Bolton ain't making linebacker. That's $1 million.
I prefer. I rather prefer.
Brandon
if I
Bolton's
wanted
getting
to
cut for
say-
2.2.
I prefer Butler, Darian
Yeah.
Butler over Curtis Bolton.
I agree 100%. That's what I'm saying. Curtis Bolton's probably gone. He's a mil. We get a mil
He's
back from
gone.
him when he. Bolton's probably gone with all the running backs we got.
Yeah, Brandon Bolton's gone.
So there's 2.2 million that we get back. So yeah, that there's no real dead cap hit on him.
What
either.
about Amik? How much will we get back for Amik?
I don't think he stays, but I'll check for you. Where's the Meek? I don't think he's making much because he's still on his rookie deal, I think. Where is he? Yeah, just a minute. Just trying to find him.
Can we get if we release 30 because we're gonna have to get rid of 37 players?
Yeah,
How
but
much
when you
will we
look at
get?
over, because when you look over the cap, there's only a certain amount of players. I think it's the first 51 players count against the cap. Now here's a Meek. So if they cut a Meek, it's about $1 million as well. That's what I'm saying. They might keep him because he's not going to cost much. He might be a good.
So
depth player.
tomorrow they got to cut 2 players.
Are we at the thing yet? Because I think you can
they
be over the.
signed Peters and they got Isaiah Rocha.
You're at 92 right now. What's the number? So 2, right?
Yeah, 90. We're only supposed to be at 90.
At 90. So yeah, I'd probably say Brandon Bolden could be one. Curtis Bolden could be another.
Already cut before
If we
camp.
cut him right now, we're still safe like another 3 million. That puts us back under the cap pretty much.
Will we be still negative 2 mil?
What's the total negative amount right now? Hang on.
Because we gave, we don't even know the amount that we gave to Rocha either.
Well, it says our cap space currently is 2.8. That's what's
That
telling
was
me, right?
before we signed Peters and Rocha, so we're
So they
Peters
haven't
was
finalized the
5.
contracts then yet, or they haven't updated it. So
Yeah.
what
Peters
was-
ain't up
hang on.
there.
Let me do the calculations just a minute. We'll do the calculations and work it out. I'll do the actual book amount. So we had 2.8. Hang
And
on.
Peters is getting 5 mil.
5 mil. Hang on a sec. 2, 8, 1, 8, 7, 4, 0. Minus 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we're at minus 2,181,260.
How
That's all.
much?
Minus 2,181,260 after signing Peters.
So what's a vet?
Basically,
minimum?
Brandon
What's a
Bolden.
vet minimum, like 1 to 3 mil?
So if we get rid of Brandon Bolden, that pretty much covers that amount because we get 2.225 back on Brandon Bolden. So,
But I don't think they're gonna cut Bolden until they get Josh back.
I don't think so. Never know, but we'll just do hypothetical for a minute.
Yeah, we never know. What the hell happened with Dustin?
I think he's coming back. He was trying to look for something in his car. Ah, shit. I went to do plus. I'm an idiot. 2, 8, 1.
Yeah,
My
but
bad.
finish. Nah,
My
bro, you
bad.
good. Nah. So
Yeah,
what were we right now in cap? We're negative how much?
Negative
Saying that we're
2 million-
negative.
2,181,260. Unless they count. That's without counting the defensive end. That's just counting.
Let's say
Peters.
Roche is a mil. So we're about 3, almost 4 million in the.
It might not even be a
The
mil
whole-
for that guy though, because some of those guys only get like 500K and stuff. So it's hard to say without seeing his
I
contract.
thought the vet minimum was like 100 million or 300
What?
million.
300 million for the vet minimum?
No, I'm tripping.
If you're getting the 300 fucking $million, man, we fuck well over the salary cap by a mile.
3 mil.
See, if
I
we
meant.
cut without counting the defensive end, if we cut Brandon Bolden, that'll put us back to positive 43,000.
Say that last part again.
If we cut Brandon Bolden, that'll put us back to positive 43,000 with the Peters deal. And all you
I
have to do is
think
cut
he's getting
Bolden.
cut. I think he's
Yeah, I
getting
think
cut.
so too. Because his contract is like the biggest, like we get money back from.
And
then-
his gameplay didn't match what he did last year.
Exactly. And then also
Yep.
the running backs that we got Sincere coming back off IR. So I don't think we need Bolden at this
Hey,
point.
so tomorrow we'll know there's gonna be 2 cuts tomorrow.
Yeah, I think
Before
Bolden
they
will be
even
one.
get started, they gotta let
And-
2 players know that you're not on the.
Let me see who else is got.
Training.
I don't know if they would. I don't know. Hold on here. I don't know
Alex
if they would
Bond,
cut
maybe?
Bolden. I don't know if they would cut him tomorrow. I mean, that's a fucking.
Hey,
That's
hey,
a ballsy
hey,
cut,
will
dude.
they
I mean,
wait
if you're
until
saying that Josh
Josh is back?
isn't here.
But
If
we're at
Josh
9
isn't
too.
here, Sincere isn't playing. You're relying on Brown and Zamir. Man, cutting Bolden would be ballsy move.
I
I
can
mean,
see-
better
I can
player,
see.
knows the system.
I think
He played in that Niner game and picked up good yardage, bro. In that Niner game, he picked up good yardage, dude, when Jacobs went down. So
Yeah.
I would, all I'm saying is that I would see like Bolden cut like when we do the 53-man roster. Like that's where I can see him being cut. Because to go out
I'd rather
tomorrow.
see the young guys in the preseason.
Hey,
but
don't get me wrong. I 100% agree with that theory. Like,
I just feel like
I
Bolden is
don't
like the most
disagree in that.
underperformed for his contract, if you get what I mean, like in that sense. He's not making a
yeah,
lot, but he's
because
just underperformed
that would
his
be a
contract.
ballsy ass move. I mean, fuck, that'd be like
I
going
don't
out
call
and
it
cut
now
Boyer tomorrow.
because we're at 92 players right now, so we've got to cut down
Hey,
to
how
90
much-
because we're at 92.
how much will we?
I mean,
save
I would
off
go
of
to,
Warriors?
I would go and look at, I would
Curtis
go and look
Bolton's
at,
another one.
I would go
Well,
look
what
at
about
whoever
Nick
the
Crowley
see
and
Curtis
David
Bolton.
Long?
Curtis Bolton can most definitely be a cut candidate. That doesn't hurt nobody.
Yeah.
Plus, he barely even played last year. So, I mean, see, it's something like that. I'd go looking for like whose
But-
contract's big. That
He's
is,
only $1 million. That's the problem.
well, what do you need? 2-3 players? I mean, what is
Yeah.
it? 2 players?
Yeah, 2 players cut.
What is it? 2.1 million?
So now we need like 2.2. You might as well say roughly.
Yeah, so I mean, as long as you get a dude that's 1.1, 1.15 million, you'd clear your money easily.
Because
And you just cut two of them because you'd be at 2.5 million.
So he's 1 million. We can't even him and Amik together wouldn't be enough if Amik was to be. But I don't think Amik gets cut, to be honest. Not yet, anyway.
If I was thinking on just money,
because I'm looking at the contracts, and there's
I'd
not.
have to go see what Lacey's contract, Cole's contract.
But that's the thing; those guys aren't making that much, and most of them don't even count against the.
They making $1 million?
Nah, not even close. And like 850.
What's Howard make? What's Howard making?
OJ Howard.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll try to find him. Not that much, to be honest.
What's Horsted making?
Because even Austin Hooper's only making like 3 million. So, like these contracts that Ziegler's written up are pretty good.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You're gonna end up cutting from 90 down anyway. So I don't think it matters. What's Adam Butler making?
See, OJ Howard, you'd only save 600,000.
Bly Nichols, he's 3.3, 3.6.
Like, without Nichols, it's a possibility, but I just don't see him getting cut before preseason. He's 3.1 that you'd save, but you eat dead cap at 3.5.
I mean, Curtis Bolton would be another guy.
That's what I'm saying. Bolton's like the easiest cut.
Shelley, Long.
Because with Bolton, you actually make money because you're only losing 625.
Like if you were to go Facem, Shelley, Long, Roberts, just in those four, someone's contract's got to be there too. Like they're gonna get cut. Those guys, somebody in there is getting cut regardless.
Which Roberts are you saying?
I'm just saying, like Facem, Shelley, Long, and Roberts. Would all be contracts that would probably be cut candidates.
Lacey's an easy cut. He can definitely get cut. That's just a straight 870K back, no dead cap. Another one's
who is that?
Chris Lacey, the wide receiver.
Yeah.
Pretty much 870K back, no dead cap. Same with DJ.
I'd go to Long. I'd go to Long Jr. and look at his contract.
Long and Jr. Hang on. See, those guys probably got dead cap. Yeah,
but it can't be much.
The dead cap with Long is 625, and you're only getting 850, so you're making like 200K pretty much.
Yep. So you want to do that one? What about Shelley?
Shelley, you're losing 500K. You're getting back 782.
Yeah, so that's worth it. That's you're getting 700K back.
Yeah, 782.
Then what's Faceum's?
Facem. Hang on a minute. I don't think he's making much. Let's go find. Hang on a sec. He's like
Teamer would be the only other guy I can think of would be Teamer.
Yeah, Teamer's definitely probably getting cut, I would say.
Yeah, Teamer's contract would come down to I like I said, I don't know. Teamer, I can see him being a cut for sure. Like Teamer is going to be a cut one with.
Yeah, see, Faceon, you don't really make money. You get back 936K, but you lose 1.9 million, so it's not really.
And then what do you get on Teamer?
Teamer, I can kind of see it because it's almost like you make about 50K on it. You get back 771, and you lose, or you pay a dead cap of 729, so you're still making money.
What are you doing at Subway, fool?
So you still get the 50 extra K back. Like you wouldn't really lose much out on the deal.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You're gonna have a few contracts. What about Isaac Brown? Where's Isaac Brown's contract?
He's got to be down low somewhere because they usually do it in order of like highest to lowest, I think. Isaac Brown. Because he's gonna be a rookie or something.
Isaac Brown ain't a rookie.
Yeah, I think he's like, isn't he not that old? If I'm not mistaken.
He's young, but I don't think he's a rookie. He played last year.
Oh, I meant like second, third year rookie type too. I think. Like, I think he's still under a
Goddamn
rookie
fucking pen.
contract.
That fucking pen out.
So I'm just
Are
looking
we
for
ready to
improvement.
go, or where are you going, Dustin?
No, I'm fucking just driving down here, bro. Fucking I'm gonna get closer to my house, so when I get done, I'm closer to be home.
Hey,
I hear
And we're gonna
hey,
probably pop off here. We're
Yeah,
gonna probably pop
750K.
off in the next 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, so
Alright, bro, I'm about
Isaiah
to
Brown
bounce.
is 750K.
To
It
get
was
back,
nice.
Yeah, no dead cap, 750K back.
that's what
It
I'm
was
saying.
nice
It's players.
chatting with you guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. I'll talk
All
to
right,
you
dude.
tomorrow, Dustin. It was nice
All right,
seeing you,
man.
Ozzy, bro.
That's it.
Catch you on the next. Yeah, Ozzy, if you ain't doing nothing on Thursdays, I do my shows on Thursday with Dark and L, and Dustin comes
Yeah, I'll
up.
definitely, because I think that's Friday for me, so I might be working.
Yeah, Friday. I don't know what you're doing after. So
Yeah,
it's
working
an
double
hour
weekends
earlier than this show. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might be able to do it. If I'm up, I'll definitely. But
yeah, bro, I'll
sometimes I'm
send you
asleep
the
when you
link if
guys
you
are
want.
live.
I'll send it to your IG or whatever.
No, wait, yeah, do that, man. And then if I'm up, I'll
Yeah,
definitely
bro.
jump on.
All right,
'cause
much
that's
love.
all. That's all I was thinking is that you have contracts like Isaac Brown's that are, 750K zero hit. And there's got to be numerous players like that are going to be casualties on our team to begin with.
Are we allowed to
Clearing
stay? But are we allowed to stay under the cap? I mean, over the cap until the end of the preseason, or is it by the start of preseason?
I think you have to be above the cap by the start of the preseason or by the start of the regular season because the way the rules are now.
Preseason, you can still be over during preseason, right?
I would assume because of the fact that you're carrying 90 players till the day of the camp. I mean, till the end of the preseason. So
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how they would. I don't know how they do that, man. Because there's teams that are under the cap by millions. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know how they're doing what they mean by it when they're doing that. I don't know what they mean because, I mean, let's be real. The Saints were under the cap by $40 million. So at those deals, I mean, does everybody have to be at zero by the regular season by the time? I mean, I don't know the answer to that question. And to my knowledge, I thought the tag allowed teams to go in the negative, if I recalled right. It's a good question, man. I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm just going to March 15th.
Everybody has to be above the cap.
Yeah, under cap by March 15th. Isn't that the start of the season or something for you guys? I'm not sure. No, September's the start of the season.
March 15th?
That's what it says here.
Yeah. August is going to be August, September. Yeah, August.
That must be when you're talking like free agency and shit. So maybe they do have to cut 2 players to get back under the cap before the preseason, then before the end of camp, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I think you're going to cut multiple people by then. You know what I mean?
Oh, because you
I think
also
by
have
the time
you have the top 51 rule. So the top 51 rule is like only the top 51 players count against the cap.
Does that count in preseason or in preseason and everything?
No, it says here they use a process of only counting the 51 most expensive contracts in terms of the team's salary cap hits. So I think only
that's when the season starts, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure when season starts is when you have to cut down to 53 and everything. That's probably when. So you're already counting the top 51 before that, though.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. That's the kind of shit I like to know because it's stuff I never knew.
And there's also another rule where it says teams must spend at least 89% of the cap over a 4-year period. I didn't know that.
that you have to spend. That you have to spend
Yeah,
89% of the cap.
Yeah, minimum over 4 years, you have to spend a minimum of 89% of the total cap.
Maybe that's so people don't just sit and try to hold on to their money.
Yeah, exactly. Because then otherwise you can hold on to your money and then go into a free agency, say 2-3 years later, and like become a super team overnight.
Fucking buy every single person out
Yeah,
there.
exactly. That's what I would fucking do if that rule wasn't there for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, that's a good fucking goal to have in place.
Because then you
Sure.
would tank for you would tank for 2 years, and then have all
Fuck
the salary
yeah.
cap in year 3, and then go get every superstar in the free agent market. Like,
Maybe that's what the Patriots did when they went out with all that money, dude. What did they say the most in franchise history, 56 million?
yeah, and then they just went and got like.
Maybe they held on for that 4 years. On the 4th year, they were like, "Fuck it, 89 fucking %. Let's go."
Yeah, exactly. That's probably what it was because of the 89% rule. They went out and spent 89%.
I mean, they got some badass motherfuckers chewed on and all. So I mean, there ain't no doubt of that one. No, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we'll find out over the next few days. But I mean, come on, let's be real. Over the next month, we're gonna start seeing a lot of motherfuckers get cut off their team. I don't think they need to wait till the last preseason game to cut down their roster. I think it'll just allow them to keep people longer. You know, the
Hey,
ones
I didn't
they
know there
want.
was this rule. I didn't know there was this rule. This is a strange rule. I don't know where this came up. Under Rule 17 of the NFL rule book, the commissioner also has the authority to overturn a game result.
No kidding.
Yeah, apparently. Overturn a game result that is order a forfeit loss to the offending team and a walkover win for the wrong team. So basically, I think that's only when, like, if a team's caught cheating or something in the game,
Yeah.
the commissioner has the authority to overturn the game result.
Yeah, because he ain't gonna wanna. That motherfucker ain't gonna wanna put his 2 fucking cents in too much on that shit for sure.
Yeah, I think it's only like,
Man, people don't even like that motherfucker as it is, dude. You think that they're gonna let that motherfucker overturn a game? Holy shit! They'll
I'm just saying that
crucify
rule
you.
weird, but I get why. I guess if one team is caught cheating or something, they can overturn the
He
game
said
result.
team that breaks that rule, that money they don't spend gets dispurpose among all other teams. I mean, fuck, dude. What? The team that breaks the rules, that money that they don't spend gets dispersed among all other teams. Is that for real?
I'm not too sure. I'd have to look more into it then, because I only gave me like a brief explanation.
Dude, that would be fucking crazy. Okay, I won't even lie to you on that.
Yeah, because it says as a whole, the NFL must spend 95% of the cap as a whole.
If you're telling me that motherfucking team don't spend that money and then we get it, like, I'd be in favor for every team not spending 89% of the cap every year. That'd be the fucking funniest shit, dude.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I was just saying as a whole, the NFL has to spend 95% too, as a whole.
The NFL does?
Yeah, like all 32 teams as a whole have to spend 95% of the cap total.
Every year?
Yeah, apparently.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's billions. That must be billions of dollars then.
I mean, fuck, just think about it. Every 4 teams is $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly, because they go get like, what, 200 something million, so that's 2 billion.
Well, they'll be at 256 at the max. 256, 258. So every 4 teams would be $1 billion.
$1 billion, every 4, yeah.
Yeah, so what is that? Fucking 40. So it'd
And you
be
have a 32 divided by 4, isn't it?
It'd be 4x32, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like 8 billion or something.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. $8 billion a year that they have to spend, pretty much. Fuck, that's a lot.
Well, what you would do is you would do 256 times 32, and then you would do so you'd do 256.
Yeah, 8.1. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then you would do minus 95%.
Times 32. Man, I don't even have a number for this on my calculator.
You'll just go to the decimal.
It's about $8.1 billion, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can see my phone here, it's like 8.1.
Yep, I see it.
E9. Like it's running
Yeah, if
out
you
of
just move
numbers.
the decimal up, it would be 8.19. Is that a 92? 8.192 million
Yeah,
billion.
It's got an E in there because they run out of numbers. But yeah.
Yeah, that's like, and then like I said, then you would do minus 95% of that, and then that would tell you what the money would be spent every year in the NFL. So you put minus
7.78 billion. Pretty much.
Yeah, so the NFL has to spend $7.8 billion every year to meet that 95% quota.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. All right, man, I gotta hop out of here, dude. Fuck, it's 10 o'clock. My woman been messaging me. So, long story short, like I said, you're welcome back anytime. Wednesday, I'll send you a deal. Come back, man, if you can. Fridays, whenever, man. So Cortez said you hop over there if you can on Thursday if you got the time. But long story short, man, you got it anytime you want to be here. So I appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you come talk football. I mean, I love the interaction. I love that you're in depth as much as I am and a lot of us here. So appreciate you, man. So outside of that, if you want to say something before we bounce out, feel free to say it, and then we're going to get up out of here.
No, just don't freak out, man. I think we're going to be fine. One thing I will say is I think I didn't say earlier, is Jimmy G is probably pretty good at the short to intermediate stuff and getting the ball out pretty quick, which is going to fit Josh McDaniels' system.
Facts. Well, outside of that, man, Dirty's going to be going live here any minute if he isn't already live. So, like I say, go over there, catch them going live here. If you guys are still here, appreciate you guys stopping by tonight, man, like you do always. Outside of that, like I say, don't drink, don't drive, man. Fucking if you do, sleep it off, call an Uber. Fuck, I always say you ain't gonna kill yourself, you can kill somebody else, dude. So it just ain't worth it in the end of the day. Outside of that, I hope you guys join us back every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Outside of that, I hope you guys have a great night, and we'll catch you on Wednesday, man.
No worries, chat, bro.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, man.
No, bro.
Bye.
King and his men stole the queen from her bed, bound her and her bone. The seas be ours, and by the power